inside of a tax advantage account. Text HEDGE to the number 989898. That's HEDGE, HEDGE, to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs right now.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Hi, this is Don Giordano introducing the Rescue Natural Supplements Customer Appreciation Sale. As a token of gratitude, on top of already discounted sale prices, Rescue customers can order any 5 products or more and save an extra 50% on their entire purchase with the code VIP50. Try the popular Rescue 1250 Omega-3 Fish Oil for heart health, Rescue Probiotic for better digestion, or Rescue Orosine for more energy. Mix and match any 5 or more single bottles and enjoy 50% off the entire purchase. To place an order, visit res-q.com or call 800-26-ALIVE. Again, that's 800-262-5483. Speak with a knowledgeable Rescue product consultant. And if you're new to Rescue, be sure to create your own account to earn more exclusive savings. Again, use the code VIP50 for an extra 50% off when you mix and match 5 or more Rescue natural supplements. Use that code VIP50 at res-q.com.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. Free speech lives here. It's Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And away we go, live on this Thursday, August 3rd. It is indeed Kayal and Company here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, always live on the free Odyssey app, streaming live for your video viewing pleasure on YouTube as we head until 10 o'clock this morning. 855-839-1210, the phone number. Twitter and Instagram, the radio station at 1210 WPHT. I'm at Nick Kayal, Kayal. Mary Walter in for Dawn Stensland this morning. Greg Stocker, the chairman of the board. Daniel Valdez, Anthony Dorenzo, our associate producers. Anthony Dorenzo with the news on a action-packed Thursday. So much good things to get to this morning. Mary, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning. I got sleep last night, so I got more than 4 hours of sleep. I'm slowly swinging my schedule so that next week I'm going to be all screwed up.
Yes.
But other than that, things are great.
As soon as you get on track, then you get off track, right?
Exactly. So I feel so much better. It's great. It's amazing how much better you feel when you get more than 4.5 hours of sleep a night.
You got the coffee going as well, or you just got the sleep?
I got the sleep. I'm not into the coffee as of yet.
Okay. I'm on cup number 2. You got some catching up to do.
I do the intermittent fasting thing.
That's right. You said that yesterday.
Yeah. I'm trying.
Gregory, good morning, buddy.
Yeah, Mary's going to be in for Zioli in like 2 weeks, so that's going to be the complete reverse schedule.
She'll be up until like 2 in the morning those nights.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. God bless you, Mary.
The joy of a fill-in, the life of a fill-in.
Yeah. Well, you do great, so that's why we keep having you back.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Keep up the great work, Mary. We certainly enjoy it. So many good things to delve into this morning. A blueprint of the left, big take. Also, conflicting views on Donald Trump and his fate. We'll see who you trust more. Historians and legal scholars or attorneys that have been in big-time moments, like the Alan Dershowitz. We'll get to that this morning. And also, Lizzo is legitimately the biggest hypocrite
She is.
of all time.
I know this isn't really the wheelhouse of what we discuss on this radio program,
Yeah.
but I love this story.
But the topics we do discuss.
Of course.
Typically, we
Yeah.
don't discuss anything about Lizzo until she comes into our spectrum.
So just to, tease a little bit.
Yeah.
She was fat shaming her dancers.
Right.
Saying, hey, fatty, you gained too much weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So, Lizzo, welcome to Kayal and Company. We'll get to you in a little bit. You just wait patiently in the waiting room. Also, Democrats apparently backing Kamala more than Joe.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
And Trudeau says, you know what? Time to hit the open market.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Country's
many
on fire. Trucker protests. Been a rough year for Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
And it just got worse.
No, it's been a rough year for Canadians, not necessarily Justin.
I agree. What a rough country lately.
Yeah.
Eh?
Is it still burning up there?
I don't know. I don't smell anything, but then again, I got a stuffy nose this morning. I don't know. Maybe I have COVID and I should go home. Take a nose test. A little swab. It could be allergies, though. But we'll see.
It's probably
Who knows what
100%
it is?
allergies.
Who knows what it is? Anywho, we got a lot of good things to get to this
Did you
morning.
say anywho?
Yeah, anywho.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, 6:06 before the Kayal shaming begins, which, by the way, you can do it on a variety of platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, or on the phones. Oh, and by the way, too, before we get to the news, a Show Us Your Setup Thursday.
Ah, yes.
By the way, keep them coming. Send us pictures of how you watch the show on YouTube.
Yes.
TVs, garages, bedrooms, work office, home office, you name it.
Yep.
We'll post them and we'll reshare them.
Show us yours.
Show us yours. Exactly right. All right, Anthony Dorenzo standing by in the Dawn Stensland booth. And he's got round number one and actually the only round of the news. What's going on, Ant?
Yes, I'm good. How are you, Nick? 6:07 a.m. here. Kayal and Company News Live, Thursday, August 3rd, 2023. Legal experts slam Jack Smith for bringing a, quote, lousy case against Trump with a, quote, disinformation indictment. As we've been talking about this since yesterday, quote, the most jarring thing about this indictment is basically it just accuses him of disinformation. This is a disinformation indictment, said Turley, who we heard from yesterday. And it's interesting to hear quotes like this because I really wonder, especially with how McCarthy and the House have been moving, is this going to be something that now you see the Bidens get involved with a case that is, quote, disinformation in a similar sense?
It really does feel like those two words, disinformation and misinformation, are two of the most overused but also, and I'm going to contradict myself, important phrases moving forward in this country.
Well, you can't define it.
Right.
So that's why also in the censorship hearing with RFK, they were talking about the word malinformation because they were able to use that word to, I guess, malign him in a different way. But it's...
And also, like, moving forward in this artificial intelligence world, all this AI stuff out there, it's like that's been my biggest concern from the jump is how do you disseminate how do you differentiate between, what is actually real and what is not? And that's, I think, what they ultimately, deep theory here, they want us not to know what's real and what's not.
Well, it's going to be harder and harder, and we're going to have to decide for ourselves more often than not.
Right.
And McCarthy said that one significant problem with the fraud that Smith alleged is, quote, it is not an actionable fraud as the Supreme Court has described fraud in as recently as May. The Supreme Court made very clear that fraud in federal laws is a scheme to swindle someone out of money or physical property. So we'll see how that one moves forward. Also, obviously, we talk about crime in Philadelphia, but this one's making national headlines. Portland woman knocked out by her attacker, and now she is blaming the city for the slow police response, saying, quote, we did this to ourselves. And she's a doctor going to work early in the morning, walking. She said a homeless man knocked her unconscious while walking in the city, and she waited more than 20 minutes without any sort of police response.
So these liberal fools in Portland want to defund the police, and then when they get attacked, be outraged that the response time was not quick enough. That's what I got.
I mean, from her quotes, it seems like she may lean right. She said, I quote, do not hold the police accountable for this at all. I hold our city accountable for defunding the police.
Yep. There you go.
Mary Constantino, a radiologist, said.
Yep.
We don't have enough police force to protect our citizens. We did this to ourselves. So.
Yeah, keep voting for progressive Democrats.
Yeah, and Portland's one of the cities affected most with this. So hopefully our prayers go out to her family. Hopefully she's recovering. And Biden, he attempted to regulate pistol braces dealt a blow after the appeals court cast doubt on constitutionality. This was an easier brace to aim and fire the gun with one hand when having a holstered pistol. This effort came after the Nashville incident in 2019, which this went into effect June 1st when they tried to implement this in 2021 after the Boulder, Colorado shooting. And some of these pistol braces were involved, but it seems like this won't move forward because of the constitutionality.
I was in Nashville in 2019. Does it say which shooting they're referencing? Because I remember there was the Waffle House shooting in Nashville in 2019.
Yes. Yeah,
That's one
it
they're
mentions
referring
that. It mentions that, and it also mentions there was a shooting in Boulder, Colorado, and Dayton, Ohio that also used the pistol braces. So it's been used in some of I'm sure it's been used in other situations, but that's at least on hold for now.
Right.
And locally, Drexel University student found dead on his on-campus apartment. Terrence Butler, who's about to be a junior in the College of Engineering and played forward on the men's basketball team, found dead on campus. He's been selected for honor roll on the Coastal Athletic Conference for his sophomore seasons, according to the university. He's from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and a graduate of Bishop McNamara High School, where he was named the most valuable player. His parents and sisters mourn his passing.
They're not. Are they suspecting foul play, or they don't know?
They did not claim anything yet. It's very early on in this. I think this came out around 3 a.m.
Okay.
So investigation will continue to move forward there. And an update from yesterday, Upper Darby. We heard about the parking enforcement and the meters. And Monday, the director of parking, Sakila Coles, has now been, well, she technically stepped down, but resigned as the parking director. And according to reports, as this investigation rolls forward, they're saying this is around $40,000 in stolen parking fares. As
$40,000.
$40,000.
And this is all in coins, correct?
I guess in theory. I don't know if
Mary, did you used to have one of those big glass jars that you would like stick all your loose change in, and then eventually you like cap it and take it in? Like it would weigh like 50 pounds, and you see how much money was in there.
No, I never had one of those things. I'm that person. I just would always. I'm that person at the checkout. If there's nobody behind me, I'm using my change.
You are.
So,
Yep.
Good for you.
I feel like we never have change anymore.
No,
I don't know.
I haven't had cash in 15 years. I really haven't.
You guys are those people who don't use cash.
I never have cash. I have loose change in my car for a coffee or whatever, or leftover change. But other than that, no. I just for a long time, my wife was like, "No, you don't get cash. You just take your card."
Cut off. Yeah, she can't track what you buy with the cash.
Yeah, that's right.
Use a card. But moving on, sports. Phillies. They lost to the Marlins, unfortunately. 10 innings, 9-8 in an exciting game. They had a 5-0 deficit, the Marlins, going into the bottom of the sixth, but chipped away there. And even Brandon Marsh hit a 2-run homer to lead off the 10th, but Miami matched, and it wasn't enough for the Phils to pull it out.
That series is over now?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Trey Turner, did you see it went like right through his legs?
Yep.
Did he?
Yep.
The go-ahead run.
Oh, he booted one?
What are we? Do we think he's the biggest bust signing?
Weren't we saying the same thing about
Phillies
Bryce,
history?
though?
Nah.
We were saying he wasn't good enough in his
Trey
first season.
yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed. But
not good enough, but not a bust.
Yeah.
Boy, I got to think about that. That sounds like a midsummer topic on WIP. Biggest busts in Philadelphia sports history. We'll take your calls all 4 more hours.
I mean, we signed the guy to just get on base, and he can't do it.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know.
Coming from over on the West Coast to Philadelphia is a different animal, man.
Yeah. I guess that's why Mike Trout doesn't want to do it either.
No.
But okay. Currently, weather 84 degrees here. A mix of clouds and sun today. High of 84. Winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Humidity around 55%. Tonight, low of 68. Partly cloudy this evening with more clouds overnight. A stray shower thunderstorms are possible. Winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And this weekend, tomorrow, high of 79, low of 68, mostly cloudy with a 24% chance of rain. Saturday, high of 87, so again a little hotter there, and low of 68, partly cloudy with a 15% chance of rain. And on Sunday, to round out the weekend, a high of 88, low of 71, partly cloudy with only a 5% chance of rain. And that is 6:15 a.m. here live on Kayal and Company.
All right, Dorenzo, thank you very much as we get to a Thursday morning Big Take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
The Big Take this morning, the blueprint of the left, how they have forced their way of thought on civilization. You might remember hearing the following: if at first you don't succeed, try again. Or perhaps this one rings a bell: if you can't beat them, join them. Neither really applicable to the left, but here's a slogan that does ring true. If you can't beat them with policy and tout the successes, just obliterate the opposition by any means necessary. And that is precisely the game plan the Democrats and the progressive radical left are installing and implementing. And this is nothing new, but it has been on full display lately. The woke mob, squad Dems, and stooges running the Biden administration have gone full throttle. Impeach Trump, indict Trump, have mainstream media ignored damning evidence against the president and his son, have big tech collude with the government to censor and silence dissenting viewpoints, force mandates on you, stifle your First Amendment rights, intimidate you with violence, rob, loot, riot, and destroy anything or anyone that doesn't see it the way they do. But the reality is this: they are hypocrites. We'll get to Lizzo later on this morning, but they are the party and the political ideology of do as I say, not as I do. The Democrats have become the elites. They lost the working class years ago. And to illustrate these points, we have a variety of stories and audio to highlight exactly what I am claiming. From hypocritical celebrities and entertainers to election deniers to whistleblowers giving damning testimony to judges with a major bias. It's all been on full display in the last 24 to 48 hours. Let's start with the concept of denying the results of an election. You don't have to agree with Donald Trump on how the 2020 election went. And if you do think it was somehow altered, it could be on a variety of things, from ballot dumps late in the night to simply the FBI and big tech colluding to censor the Hunter Biden laptop story in the New York Post. But Donald Trump, was the First Amendment, and this is a guy who wants to say what he wants to say. Now, Trump's attorney was on CNN with Caitlin Collins going over his defense. And take a listen to how he owns the young alleged future star of the network on CNN. Take a listen to this.
Legislators that you just mentioned there in the courts.
Right. What was not true? That there were states where ballots were sent out without people asking for them, where there were changes in verification, where there were instances where ballots were not being supervised at drop-off places. The president was told, given advice, that under these circumstances, the state legislatures have the ultimate ability to qualify electors. He followed that advice. Now, you may disagree as to whether or not those things actually occurred or not. That's why we have political debate. We don't have criminal trials over that. We have the discussion like we're just having.
But it matters if those things actually occurred or not, John.
Not under the First Amendment.
But it matters if those things actually occurred because...
Not at all, because under the First Amendment...
It does matter if there was actually fraud.
No, the First Amendment allows...
But John, let me stop you there, because if he's saying that there was fraud, the First Amendment doesn't allow the President of the United States to go and claim there was fraud when he was told there was not fraud, and then try to subvert the election by overturning legitimate electors. I mean, it says it right here in the actual indictment.
Absolutely. The First Amendment protects all speech. If we're going to have a situation where the Department of Justice is going to fact-check politicians and indict politicians for political speech and whether or not they're factually accurate, then this country will shut down politically.
So according to Caitlin Collins, Trump can't say what he said. But I wonder what she thinks about the party she panders to when they did the exact same thing. Let's listen to Dems in denial, because as we say on Kayal and Company, we have the receipts. Listen.
You can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee, and you can have the election stolen from you.
How can you win with Russian interference, though?
That's the real
what I'm
thing.
scared about in 2020.
But rightly.
Because I think he's an illegitimate president that didn't really win. So how do you fight against that in 2020?
You are absolutely right.
He's an illegitimate president in my mind.
Would you be my vice presidential candidate? Folks, look, I absolutely agree.
Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016. He lost the election, and he was put into office because the Russians interfered.
Russia interfered with our election, attacked our democracy for the sole purpose of artificially placing someone at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. They were successful.
Trump knows he's an illegitimate president.
The president-elect, although legally elected, is not legitimate.
I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president.
You said you believe that Russia's interference altered the outcome of the election.
I do. We have a president who, if in fact it is proven, has been assisted by the Russians and may in fact not be a legitimate president.
Well, thank you very much, Hillary, Kamala, Joe, Jimmy, Hakeem, CNN, Chuck Todd, and others. Oh, wait, you know what? It's okay. They're Democrats. It's lamestream media, different rules. My fault. I forgot. They can say whatever they would like. That's going to wrap up the election denier topic. So let's just move on. How about the mainstream media's ability to protect Joe Biden while spending their entire professional existence trying to bring down the outsider? Axios actually waking up yesterday with the following headline and column saying, quote, Trump's indictment blocks out bad news for Biden. Geez, you think? You can read that if you would like on Axios.com. But let's get to Devin Archer, because this has also been a fascinating story this week when it comes to left-wing hypocrisy and who's allowed to get away with what. And how about this big-time interview? After testifying about Joe and Hunter Biden's business dealings, Archer sat down yesterday with Tucker Carlson for a new episode of Tucker on Twitter, and he confirms that Joe knew who was on the other end of that speaker phone call. Absolutely. Take a listen to this.
Biden, then the sitting vice president, knew that there were Hunter's business associates in the room.
Yeah, I think I can definitively say at particular dinners or meetings, he knew there were business associates, and or if I was there, I was a business associate too.
Yeah.
So I think, or if, any of the other colleagues from the DC office or the New York office were there. So yeah, at times there were. From the, to be, completely clear on the calls, I don't know if it was an orchestrated call in or not. It certainly was powerful though, because if you're sitting with a foreign business person and you hear the vice president's voice, that's prize enough. I mean, that's pretty impactful stuff.
Seems like a pretty impactful statement there from Devin Archer. I wonder if the mainstream media covered this. I wonder if anybody on the left or Democrats or Americans that consume mainstream media are even aware of that conversation yesterday with Tucker Carlson. But you know what? Why cover a sitting president's compromised integrity, which puts Nixon, Clinton, and Trump to shame, when you can actually go on MSNBC and try to say that January 6th, 2021 compares to the Civil War, Pearl Harbor, and 9/11. Listen to this.
How does this fit into the larger American story? I think the last 12 hours fit perfectly into the American story, and that is this. From time to time, America faces threats from monsters who want to destroy our democracy. That happened in 1861 with the Confederacy. Abraham Lincoln and, Northern soldiers and Northern voters came to our rescue, saved the Union. The same thing happened in 1933, almost at the last minute. Franklin Roosevelt came to power, saved our economic system. Pearl Harbor, 1941. We were bombed. Our system was very much in danger. Our democracy, many people were getting it up and saying that, the democracy had seen its last days. Franklin Roosevelt helped to put a coalition together at the last minute to save democracy and freedom around the world. 9/11, 2001, Osama bin Laden and other terrorists hated our democracy, tried to destroy it. You see where I'm going.
That was Michael Beschloss on Morning Joe on MSNBC. He made the comparison that Trump is a threat from monsters who want to destroy American democracy. He actually tries to compare Donald Trump to Osama bin Laden. So I would ask Mr. Michael Beschloss this. How many people died on January 6th? Okay, you answer that question. How many people died during the summer of 2020 riots? Okay, answer that question. How many people died in the Civil War? How many people were killed on December 7th, 1941? And how many were murdered on September 11th, 2001? Yeah, Michael, I see where you're going. Straight to the asylum for the deranged. But see, these are the battles that the right has to fight in the war against the left. You are dealing with obsessed, twisted, delusional individuals saying whatever they want with no repercussions. Deny an election? Keep your freedom. Factual basis or merit? Be damned. And imagine being a Republican voter and not getting on board with ballot harvesting, mail-in voting, and everything that the left utilizes better than you. Actually, imagine this continuing through 2028. I want you to let that marinate for a little bit as we continue here this morning. And that's the Big Take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
All right, the Big Take this morning. If you would like to jump in, 855-839-1210 is the phone number, 855-839-1210 on Twitter and Instagram, the radio station at 1210 WPHT. And, of course, you can be a part of the show on the Kayal and Company comment community. Just go to youtube.com/@1210 WPHT. Hit the like and subscribe buttons and be a part of the show. We'll get Mary and Greg's reaction on the other side, as well as Donald Trump's fate. Who do you trust more? The historians and legal scholars, or the Alan Dershowitzes of the world? We'll get to that as we continue. It's Kayal and Company, Thursday morning, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Looking for a new Ford? Winter Ford has the vehicle for you. Choose from our large selection of new F-150s, Explorers, Escapes, and Bronco Sports today. Winter Ford also takes care of you after the sale. Stop in their service department with no appointment necessary. Call 800-428-4000 for offer details. Visit in person or online at winterford.com. Winter Ford, people you trust, service and value you'll love.
Hey, it's Rich Ziola. Do you really want to take shots the rest of your life just to lose weight? NJ Diet's typical results are twice as fast as weight loss injections without any of the side effects. Plus, you learn proper portion control and you develop healthy eating habits. With NJ Diet's 40-day program, you will lose 20 to 40 plus pounds contractually guaranteed. Lose weight quickly, the healthy and natural way. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consult at njdiet.com, njdiet.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Venaria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Venaria is and has been my dentist also. And you know, doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to him, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Venaria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Venaria's office does everything. Dr. Venaria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit venariadental.com.
Rich Pioli this afternoon, 3 till 7. Kayal and Company now on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
A Monday warrior, mean strike. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
6:30, welcome back in. Kayal and Company live here on a Thursday morning. All sorts of good stuff on tap today. A couple of very interesting stories with the Utes. New hires in 2023, not ready for the workforce. And also why Gen Z libs don't believe in spanking their kids. All of that on the way. The Lizzo story and some more stuff on Donald Trump. And also some stuff on the Biden front as well, including Hunter Biden says, you know what? I'm going to rent out a $4.2 million beach house, and then I'm just going to trash it. You know, $80,000 worth of damage after I decide to leave. It's like the equivalent of coming across the southern border. We ship you up to New York. We put you up in a $400 a night hotel. You don't like the food, so you rummage and you pilfer and you vandalize and you destroy. The more I think about it, Mary Walter, Hunter Biden is like the 53-year-old that was spoiled and pampered as a kid and handed everything with a silver spoon, and he just never grew up.
Well, yeah, I think that's obviously dead on about Hunter Biden. I don't think there's a question about whether that's exactly what's happening. It's sad because I think it's it's a strange family dynamic. I think it's a unique family dynamic. I mean, a lot of families have the loss of a child. Yeah. But Beau Biden, when you look at it, Beau Biden was the good kid. You know, Beau Biden was the good one, and I think that's always weighed on Hunter. He's always known it's kind of like the heir and the spare. Look at Harry and William, right? William and Harry. William's the heir, Harry's the spare, and it was kind of the same thing. And Beau, was served in the military. Hunter got kicked out, right? Yep. And Hunter had all the problems, and I think Hunter always struggled with being the second one. I agree. And so now that Beau is gone, Joe, I mean, I can't imagine what it's like to lose a child. So I can't judge them based on that. But I do believe, and I've said this over and over again, that Joe and Jill are going to love Hunter into a grave. Mm-hmm.
I think you're right. I think you're spot on, and we'll see how that plays out. Especially, wouldn't that be wild if Hunter, if Hunter actually? I'm getting like real deep here. If Hunter died before Joe Biden did.
Oh, geez,
is that like a real twisted thought?
Yes.
It's just.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just.
But keep going with it, okay? Let's play this out.
I mean, because the kid. I mean, the kid. And see, that's the thing. It's like you feel like the dude's a kid because he's always in all sorts of drama with baby mamas and child supports and drugs and driving 172 miles an hour while doing a crack pipe. But we'll get to that story in a little bit. I do want to get your reaction to the big take because I was just looking at a variety of audio and video clips yesterday, and you've got people on MSNBC spouting off. I love the way Trump's attorney kind of battled back against Caitlin Collins. And, Caitlin Collins is one of these, quote, up-and-coming hosts who I just don't think – I think she's a solid reporter. I disagree with her approach. I just don't think she's going to be really cut out for that 9 p.m. primetime slot, although she does have a backbone. And then, of course, some of the other audio with Devin Archer and Tucker Carlson. But my point being with this big take, Mary, is it's just amazing how the left is able to operate essentially with impunity, whether it's if you're a politician on the left, if you're a talking head on the left. I mean, imagine going on TV and trying to compare Donald Trump to other times where the United States has faced threats from monsters who want to destroy democracy in the past, and trying to compare Donald Trump to Osama bin Laden or any terrorist that flew a plane into a building or a foreign nation that's dropping a bomb on us and starting up a war. Meanwhile, we've got radio hosts in this country that get fired for making an offhand remark about Barbie. Think about, imagine the impunity that you have on MSNBC to go out there and say that Donald Trump is the equivalent to Osama bin Laden.
Well, that was a hyperbole, but look at history. Let's look at history again. I keep saying, look at history. We've been down this road before. We've seen this play before. We know how it works. And I don't mean to be hyperbolic, but look at a bloodless coup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look what's happened in this country. I'll say it again. The alphabet agencies, the DOJ, the FBI, have more power and are accountable to no one than any other branch of government.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, what do we learn from Schoolhouse Rock? The government's a three-ring circus. You've got the three branches of government, right? And not one of those branches is not the DOJ or the FBI, but they have assumed power. And they now have more power than the president. They now have more power than the Supreme Court. They have more power than Congress. And they answer no one, and they're allowed to get away with it.
Yep.
Because what's the other part of the coup? Control the media, control the messaging. And that's been going on for a long time in this country.
That's correct.
And we've allowed it to happen, right? And you have a weak opposition party that doesn't fight, and you still have factions of that party that don't want to fight for whatever reason. Maybe they're lining their pockets, whatever they're doing. They like the status quo. So the hyperbole works because it creates chaos around Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
How many people do you know who are Republicans? I'm a Republican. I always vote Republican, but I'm not voting for Trump. It's just too chaotic. It's too much. He's got too much baggage. It's chaos when he's in office. He brings the chaos. No, he doesn't bring the chaos. The media is bringing the chaos.
Right.
The deep state, the unaccounted bureaucrats, the unelected bureaucrats are bringing the chaos purposely to bring him down and to create that chaos that people vote for. I don't want chaos. I want no chaos.
Right.
And when the deep state is running the show, there's no chaos.
Yes, that's correct.
So they get you to vote for your own demise.
That's a very interesting theory. And from the media angle standpoint, you talk about the way they go after Trump and they create the chaos. And Trump might do something that certainly warrants a reaction, but then they throw gasoline on top of it and continue to fan the flames. And it's twofold. It's, to your point, to do everything that you just laid out, but also for such a long time, especially from like 2016 through 2021, all of those networks were getting really good ratings because all they were doing was covering Trump 24/7. But eventually, from a media coverage and a media obsession standpoint, it runs its course, and it's ran that course. And I think CNN is a prime example now as to, look, after Trump left office, their ratings just basically crashed and burned. So you can get away with it for only so long, and then eventually people are like, all right, like, dude, he's been out of office for a year. You're still spending half of your programming every day talking about the guy who's no longer in office because they have nothing to say really good about the guy who's in office right now.
Right. But to keep people, and so take it to the next step. So to keep that going, to keep the money flowing, and to keep the chaos going, to keep the American people and their particular viewers, but half this country on edge and wanting to keep voting for calm. And yeah, there's chaos in the cities, but it doesn't affect me, so it's okay. To keep that going, what do? You need to throw more gasoline on the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So hence the clip that you played yesterday about this is worse than Pearl Harbor. Really? Anybody who's sane would look at that and say, but there are a lot of people right now who have lost it. They broke their brains with Trump and the chaos surrounding Trump and COVID. The people who you talked about yesterday who are still running around with their masks on.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a great, we should have a poll question on that. What entity broke the left's brain more? If I can even word that question properly, Trump or COVID?
But I think it's the same entity. It's which, I think for the people who weren't totally broken with the chaos of Trump and making them feel unsafe because of Trump, they made them feel unsafe with COVID.
Yeah.
So that's how they got the ones who weren't unsafe enough with Trump to vote for the continued control. The government keeping me safe.
Yep. 855-839-1210 to join the show. So here's the thing on Trump. We're talking about his fate, what the future looks like for Trump. And right now, it seems like in the last couple of days, with all the media analysis, all the talking heads, the current attorneys, former prosecutors, legal scholars, historians, you name it, there's two schools of thought. There's the Alan Dershowitz school of thought which is a very interesting one. And then there is the latest in the Washington Post, so you know how that will slant. Spoiler alert, hard left. But anywho, Alan Dershowitz says, for all you Trump haters popping champagne over this dubious indictment, here's exactly why it may collapse. Alan Dershowitz wrote the following. I can imagine the sound of champagne bottles popping from Martha's Vineyard to Washington, D.C. as President Donald Trump's haters celebrate this third historic federal indictment. If only they were able to drop their partisan blinders and see the grave damage this legal lunacy is doing to our country. Yes, Trump's behavior following his 2020 loss was wrong, but was it criminal? Not on the basis of what I've seen thus far. Have no doubt corrupting the U.S. justice system to punish a former president and current candidate nudges the country ever closer to tribalism, chaos, and collapse. Dershowitz goes on to say, if the attorney general appointed by the incumbent president authorizes the prosecution of the president's chief election rival, the evidence of a serious crime could be and should be overwhelming. His guilt should be clear beyond reasonable doubt so as to avoid any reasonable suspicion that the prosecution was motivated, even in part, by partisan consideration. The gun must indeed be smoking. I call this the Nixon standard, under which the guilt is so evident that even the defendant's political allies, and certainly less sectarian independents, are satisfied that it is fair. Mary, this really does look like, and the way Dershowitz is framing this, it's one thing for you to go after the guy, but you better be 100% sure that you can get a conviction, that you absolutely have the evidence that would reach beyond a reasonable doubt. Because if you don't and you fail, this is a major smear on those that really initiated all of this. I think Dershowitz is spot on. This is kind of the camp that I fall into right now.
Yeah, Alan Dershowitz is great, and I give him a lot of credit because he is a Democrat. He didn't vote for Trump, and because he stands on the side of justice, like what is legal, what is not legal, what is just, what is not just. He doesn't pick a side, which is untenable in today's society, right? So because he did that, he's really he's been ousted, he's been ostracized from, he said, I'm not welcome in the Hamptons anymore, which I guess is a big deal. I wouldn't know since I've never been to the Hamptons, let alone ousted from them.
Yeah.
I was ousted before I was even allowed in. So I disagree with him in the sense that there's a downside if you don't have all the goods, because it doesn't matter. It's about poisoning the well. How many people will still tell you that Donald Trump, was convicted of raping E. Jean Carroll?
Oh, there's still people today.
Right?
There's still people today that believe the Steele dossier was true. That,
Exactly.
that Russia collusion was real. We have found out that those are factually not true, and there are still people that believe it.
Right. It's the art of the smear, as Nancy Pelosi told us, right?
That is correct.
Please don't bother me with such frivolity.
Don't bother her with frivolity. Come on, Mary. But Dershowitz goes on to say, and he really brings all three cases into light. He says the following. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's indictment of Trump for falsely reporting the payment of hush money to Stormy Daniels is scandalously inept. The legal contortions that Bragg performed to criminalize a possibly immoral yet perfectly legal payoff are too convoluted to recount. Then he goes into Mar-a-Lago. He says evidence related to Trump's alleged illegal retention of classified documents are strong, but the supposed crime itself is rather technical and relatively minor. He alludes to Hillary and everybody else that has done the same thing. And then he gets to this indictment again. He says the current indictment involves far more serious accusations, but the evidence seems speculative. He goes on to say, in order to establish the underlying charges, the government would have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Trump himself actually knew and believed that he had lost the election fair and square, that he intended to subvert the will of the people. I doubt they can prove that. So Dershowitz has gone through basically all three of these cases, and it is going to be very difficult in each and every one of these three, and maybe the fourth one coming soon in Fulton County in Georgia, for them to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. So, but to your point, maybe they're not even concerned about the conviction. They just want to continue to smear because, let's face it, the left is diabolical. If this increases, if they go 0 for 3 in all of these, but this gives them a 5% chance of retaining power through 2028, they'll probably deep down inside behind closed doors and say, you know what? It was worth it. High five. Mission accomplished in some extent, right?
Oh, absolutely, because they don't think it's going to come back on them. They never think it's going to come back on them because they know that the Republicans don't have the guts to do it. Look at the impeachment. How many people are saying, could you please start the impeachment? Do the impeachment inquiry. I'm 100% behind the inquiry because it allows you to subpoena material that you can't currently get because the deep state, the DOJ, the FBI won't turn the material over despite Congress having oversight.
Right.
So it allows them to do that, but they won't do it. And the Democrats know that they have weak opponents who are gutless and spineless. The other part of it, don't forget, how many tens of millions of dollars, I think the last number I saw was something like $40 million Trump is spending in legal fees. This is about bleeding him dry. This is death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah. It's a lot
That's
of paper
what this
cuts,
is
right?
about.
Yep.
And when all is said and done, and Trump's out or Trump doesn't win, they're going to high five each other, like you said, and say it was all worth it.
Yes.
Doesn't matter because they're never going to do the same to us, and we know it.
All right. 855-839-1210 if you want to jump in on the conversation. Coming up next, left-wing hypocrisy at its finest. Lizzo is legitimately and figuratively the biggest hypocrite ever. Details coming up next as we continue. Nick, Mary, Greg, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You've probably had some sort of flavored cream cold brew by now because, well, they're delicious. But Frosty has just entered the chat and is about to shake up the world of cold brews, just like it did with desserts. Available in vanilla, caramel, and chocolate, Wendy's new Frosty cream cold brew is a morning maker. It puts other post-lunch pick-me-ups down, and down bad. Try a Frosty cream cold brew today at participating Wendy's and taste for yourself how the perfect dessert also makes the perfect cold brew.
The Securities and Exchange Commission regulates our country's Wall Street firms. In the groundbreaking documentary, The Baby Boomer Dilemma, the top SEC attorney Edward Siddell exposes how the stock market corporations in our country are legally permitted to steal your pension and retirement plans.
The stealing from America's pension funds and retirement plans globally is legal. I can disclose I'm going to steal your money in such a way that will make it very difficult for you to ever sue me about it. If you're counting on a pension being there, you've got reason to worry.
Learn how to protect your retirement income from the legal theft occurring in pensions and other Wall Street retirement plans by reserving your seat at the next private screening of The Baby Boomer Dilemma at the Falls at the Doubletree in Mount Laurel, New Jersey on Wednesday, August 16th. Registration is required. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced Home Security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Traveling, volunteering, spending time with family.
What's your retirement look like? With income planning from Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor can help you grow and protect your wealth. They'll look at your full financial picture and help you create a flexible strategy that considers things like market conditions and healthcare expenses, so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Visit fidelity.com/income planning. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE SIPC.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. When you're involved in an accident, you need a lawyer to help you maximize your recovery and get the fair value of your case. You need the law offices of Thomas G. Skopanich. My buddy Tom has been serving the greater Delaware Valley for over 25 years, and he's helped many clients. With offices located in Lansdale, Montgomery County, let Tom help you maximize your recovery and get the fair value for your case. Contact Tom at scopelawyer.com or 215-624-2211.
Hey, Ben Salem, tell your smart speaker play 1210 WPHT.
It's Kayal and Company, 6:50. Thursday morning, the segment brought to you by Piazza Volkswagen of Ardmore and Langhorne. Test drive the 2023 Volkswagen Atlas, Atlas Cross Sport, and more, or shop online at piazzavw.com today. 855-839-1210. Nick Kayal, Mary Walter, in for Dawn Stenzel, and Greg Stocker here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. You know, I love a good hypocrite, and the left is just littered with them, but none of them probably bigger than current musical pop sensation act Lizzo. This is a story that went absolutely crazy on social media yesterday. People were actually tweeting us after I put out like the little teaser for what we're going to talk about today. You got to talk about Lizzo. You got to talk about Lizzo. So we'll talk about Lizzo. Apparently, there is no bigger hypocrite, Mary, than Lizzo. 3 of her former dancers have filed a lawsuit against her, alleging that the singer harassed employees with comments tinged with racial and fat-phobic verbiage, so to speak. Translation, Lizzo shamed her dancers for being fat. It's unclear if she understood the irony of calling others fat or just didn't care. But her alleged hazing is perplexing for a few reasons. Number one, she's a big girl herself, and being fat is kind of her brand. And that's kind of been her claim to fame with this body positivity movement. She said a while ago in an interview in Vogue in 2020, I think it's just lazy for me to say I'm just body positive at this point. It's easy. I would like to be body normative. I want to normalize my body. And apparently she wants to normalize her large frame, but not for her dancers, as she harassed and did all sorts of really unprofessional things to a whole plethora of people that work and perform with her. I'm sure you saw this story, and as a female, I'm sure you'll have plenty of thoughts on, the way she kind of went after and really doing the opposite of what she claims she's about.
Yeah. So if you read this, there are a ton of allegations here, no pun intended. And one of the women, one of the backup dancers. Now all the backup dancers are big women themselves, right? And God bless them. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
I'm lacking in the aerobic capacity department. Always have.
Yes.
I'm not a runner.
Same here.
It's just not my, I just can't do it. But they can, and carrying all that extra weight. So good for them. That's fine. If that's your thing, if that's what your body positivity thing is, you do you. But one of the women whose last name is Davis, one of the plaintiffs.
Yes,
in this,
Ariana Davis.
Yeah, so she claims that they were forced to rehearse for 12 hours without a break, and she couldn't even go to the bathroom.
It's ridiculous.
Right, and so she, soiled herself, and she was given a see-through costume with no underwear, and she had to finish the performance in that.
Okay,
but I'm looking at a lot. There's a lot going on here. This what is her first name? The Davis chick.
Ariana.
Ariana Davis. She's also she says, well, she struggles because she has a binge eating disorder, anxiety, depression, and she has an eye condition that Lizzo and her team were aware of. I mean, all these people have a lot going on.
Yes.
Reading about each one of them and all of their issues is exhausting.
It is. And the lawsuit, according to the lawsuit, and for all the parents out there with kids, maybe have them cover their ears here or turn the radio down, whatever you got to do, because I'm going to read some stuff from the lawsuit that's not necessarily meant for 12-year-olds. According to the lawsuit, quote, Lizzo began inviting cast members to take turns touching the nude performers, catching, and I'm going to clean this word up because I don't want to say this word on the radio, catching adult toys launched from the performer's female anatomy below the waist.
How'd they do that trick?
And eating bananas from the performer's you-know-what.
What?
Female region.
This is in Amsterdam at a club that they went to after hours. So it's a little different in Amsterdam, I think, than here.
Wow.
It's just
so this is the body positivity, pro women's rights.
Yep.
Lizzo.
Right. Embrace being big. Love yourself. You are what you are. Embrace who you are. Right. And then she's that. I mean, that would be. I'm trying to think of an equivalent of like, hey, basically what it is, hey, we're going to have a no tolerance policy in the workplace for sexual harassment or any other type of harassment. And then as soon as we get done concluding that meeting and everybody's on the same page, all the suits start walking around and harassing everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
This is essentially what this is.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised because I always feel like, Mary, and I think the big takeaway is those on the left that claim to be for this, that, or the other thing, I've said this countless times on this show, they are the biggest violators of what they perpetuate and what they claim to be fighting the good fight against. It could be race, it could be gender, it could be body positivity, you name it. If they're about it, odds are behind closed doors, they're frauds.
Oh, and there's also, I mean, this goes on and on, what you talked about, but there's also claims of false imprisonment that the chick with all the problems, Davis, was allegedly locked in a hotel room until she agreed to have her phone searched because she said because of her eye problem, she had to record a meeting. And so you're not allowed to record at any Lizzo meetings. And then her dance captain is accused of forcing her Christian beliefs onto others and deriding people who engage in, premarital activities and all this other stuff. I can't even imagine.
It's remarkable. She'll probably be she'll be the Time Person of the Year. Usually the way it works, right?
Now, again, this is all alleged. Everybody knows alleged. This is just alleged. This is a lawsuit. And we all know a lot of times when people smell money, they throw everything at the wall to try to get a settlement out of court.
Exactly.
So take it with a grain of salt.
All right. 855-839-1210. We'll kick off hour number 2 next on the Democratic side of things. The Dems now all of a sudden starting to back Kamala, even though Gavin Newsom lays low in the weeds. We'll get to that as we continue hour 2 of Kayal and Company. It's coming up next on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, I'm George Parenti, the lead dog at the Dogs and Cats Rule stores. Our stores are stocked with everything, from cooling pads and vests to cooling booties for those hot paws. Or your dog can dip their paws in one of our specially made pools. Don't forget the floating toys, ball launchers, frisbees, and of course, a new summer collar and leash, so they look their best at the dog park. Dogs and Cats Rule with 7 neighborhood locations, or visit online at dogsandcatsrule.pet. That's Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
A jury in Pittsburgh has recommended a death sentence for the Pittsburgh synagogue mass shooter. Former President Trump is expected to be arraigned today for his alleged attempts at overturning the 2020 election. And Drexel University men's basketball player Terrence Butler was found dead in his on-campus apartment.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. there is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It was the day we all feared. The stock market went down and then kept going.
2008, when the markets lost over 50% of their value. But that was over a decade ago. Today, it's not so painful. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group calls that financial amnesia. When you forget the pain of losing half your savings, and more importantly, ignore the fact that it can happen again. A complimentary consultation from Retire Ready Financial Group can show you where you stand now before the next market pullback. You're much closer to retirement than you were in 2008. Don't let it happen again. Call Jim Cipriotti at 610-894-7415 for a complimentary consultation. That's 610-894-7415 or online at retirereadyfg.com. You can forget where you put your keys, your glasses, or even your car. Don't forget to protect your retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hire comedian Joe Conklin for corporate events, golf outings, and private parties.
Yo, this is Tom Sapwager from Shriners Tree Care out in King of Prussia. We had Joe Conklin. We did not stop laughing for the whole show.
Hey, this is George Wolf. We've had Joe Conklin at our events for the last 3 years. People keep coming back in droves.
Hi, this is Al Morgani from the Dave the Geese Foundation in Medford. We hired Joe Conklin. He arrived drunk, and things went downhill from there.
Hire Joe Conklin for your next event. Go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com.
Don Stensland weekdays 10 till noon. Dom to your Dono noon till 3. Free speech lives here. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Hour number 2 of Kayal and Company is off and running, 7:01 here on this Thursday morning. Great to have all of you in. 855-839-1210, Twitter and Instagram at 1210WPHT. Stream us on the free Odyssey app. Watch us live on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Viewer discretion is advised for 2 out of the 3 panels of viewing. Those would be pictures and video of myself and Greg. The third panel is always much more pleasant. Mary, Dawn, you name it. Just have to give out that disclaimer.
Absolutely.
You want to pander for any subscribers,
well,
likes, shows,
okay.
pictures?
Yeah,
What
let's do
else?
this. Let's do this. We're at like 50 likes right now. Can
Yeah.
we get to 100 likes?
There you go.
So if you're watching right now, please hit the like button. And if you have not done so yet, like, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button. It's free. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Hit the subscribe button. It's free, man.
Mm-hmm. If
Free.
it's free, it's
Did I
for
mention
me.
it's free?
It is. A lot of good stuff coming up as we continue this morning.
By the way, if you're listening on the Odyssey app,
yeah,
there's some new artwork in the Kayal and Company app.
Wait, we updated the logo?
The logo a little bit.
Oh,
So,
wow.
If you have not done so,
I'm going to have to take a look at that myself.
Odyssey.com or listen on the Odyssey app.
I'm finding out just like the audience now. Hold on a second.
And you can see.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
What do you think? Don't. I want people to go there and see it.
Yeah.
No, you don't like it.
I'm a fan of the photography in the summer months, as I've said in the past.
No.
But this is still better than the script K we had. Step in the right direction. I like it. Although your head's kind of a little crooked. You're like this, like you're pondering like your options of curly fries versus crinkle cut.
Odyssey.
Which one should I go with?
Odyssey.com. Download the app, and it's free. It's
I
all
like
free.
it though.
Download
Nice
the
work.
free Odyssey app, and then you can see the new picture.
All right. Apparently, people are still working around here, even though it's the summer months. We got a lot of good stuff.
Not right.
I know. There's so much to get to today. This is like a great day of mix of between some serious, legitimate stuff and some goofy, funny stuff. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to get to a little bit more on Trump. Fulton County claiming that Trump will get a mugshot when that indictment comes. Also, Trump wined and dined by Fox News executives as they try to really sell him on joining the debate stage. We'll get to those stories, which is very fascinating, Mary. But maybe not as fascinating, and we'll do this leading into the cut sheet because we've got video for this. This story going viral of whether or not this is actually a real bear in a zoo amidst claims that it's a human dressed up like a bear, which you never know, because earlier this week, Mary, we did have the story of a man who transitioned to a collie. So this could be a guy that's transitioning to a bear, or it could be a bear that acts like a human. We'll leave that up for you guys to decide on YouTube a little bit later this morning. But let me start with the Dems here, because this is fascinating. And I felt like this might have been the plan 3-4 years ago. I can't imagine that this is the plan moving forward for a variety of reasons. But according to the latest New York Times Siena College poll, Democrats are more enthusiastic about Kamala Harris than Joe Biden. Which, think about that. That would be like your employer saying, you know what, that intern down in the corner of the cubicle, he's got a better upside than the person we're paying 6 figures. Like, if you're Joe Biden and you're god-awful, maybe the only person that's worse than you in the administration, if it's possible, is Kamala Harris. Yet some of the polling says people are more enthusiastic about her than Joe. Let me give you some of these numbers. A New York Times Siena College poll found that just 20% of Dems said they'd be enthusiastic with Biden as the party's 2024 nominee, with a bigger percent, 26%, saying they'd be pumped if Vice President Kamala Harris topped the ticket. Now, Mary, I thought maybe initially this would be like the succession plan back in 2019, 2020. Kamala breaks the glass ceiling, first female vice president, African-American. Joe will show her the way, show her the ropes, and then in 2024, Kamala will have learned the insides and the outs and understand the way the game is played, and she would be the choice. She's been an abject disaster and a failure as a speaker, at the border, with AI, you name it. She's a stumbling, bumbling mess. I can't imagine that plan, if that was kind of the thought process years ago, that I think that thing's been thrown in the trash by now. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, one would think, but if you dig into this poll and you go to the very bottom where they put the methodology, the poll included a subpopulation of 296 likely Democratic voters. 296. So
it's amazing.
I'm going to go with this might not be the best poll ever.
So you're saying there's probably other polls that would disagree.
I'm going to say I don't know, maybe if they had gone for 4 more and gotten to a solid 300, that maybe it would be a different result.
It was like Stalker pandering for 4 more likes.
I was just going to say that. Yes, I was just going to say that.
Listen. Do what I have to do over here, guys.
Exactly. Yeah. And apparently they couldn't find 4 more people. I always like to say I'd like to talk to the 20% of voters that were enthusiastic about the prospect of Joe being the president and being the leader in 2024 again, because I think those 20% need to have their head examined, or I at least need to see what their bank account looks like.
Well, no, but remember, there are a lot of Democrat older people, retirees, the people in their 80s who love Joe Biden. He's one of them, right? They're dyed-in-the-wool cradle Democrats. I know several of them.
Me too.
And they cannot, when they just don't want to hear it. They sit around and they listen. They watch ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN. Mm-hmm. They get the Washington Post, the New York Times. They're the establishment, old school media consumers.
Yep.
And you can't tell them any different because their whole world, they live in a bubble. They live in an information bubble.
Yep.
So it ain't breaking through, and they think Joe Biden's great because they still think that they're hale and hearty, and maybe they are. They can't admit. It's hard to admit when you get to that point in life that contemporaries maybe have missed a step or aren't as what they used to be. That's hard. I get it. I kind of get it.
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting because then you have Gavin Newsom and this latest story out there about him potentially running for president. His fundraising strategies signal that he has White House aspirations. He's been on with Hannity about this was probably 6-7 weeks ago now, where he said that he would love to debate Ron DeSantis, and Hannity said, I would love to moderate it, and I'll sit down and I'll say, okay, Gavin, economy, 90 seconds, go. Ron, economy, 90 seconds, go. Let me ask you this, and before we get to specifically Gavin, because I think Gavin is actually their plan B. I think Kamala was initially the goal, and they've had to kind of quietly pivot to Gavin. But I want to mention one other name before we specifically get to Gavin. And I've been shot down by Dawn on this show and Greg by mentioning this name. And it's always the name that shows up as far as like future presidential nominees. And you see people like Oprah, you see The Rock, and you say, oh, okay, that's all. Those are all long shots. And the name that I always see popping up that I still can't rule out, because the left is all about DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, identity politics, and they're always sniffing around. They're always in the weeds. Some would say this is the third Obama term. Do you think there is at least a 1% chance that one day Michelle Obama will throw her name in the hat officially? Or is that a total no doubt about it?
Oh, I think she's the Hail Mary pass for them.
See, I agree. I have said that, and
absolutely,
and Dawn and Greg have said no chance.
Mm-hmm.
And look at this.
Well, no. You asked about this upcoming election.
Oh, I did.
You said.
I still think it's possible.
Oh, no, it's not possible.
Okay.
They've been saying that. Since 2016.
Look, is she really going to be doing any work? She's going to be the face. She's going to show up every now and then. They lived in the White House. Barack Obama, the Obamas are the first presidential family to not leave Washington, D.C. when they left office. Why does he want to be so close to the levers of power? Obama probably wants a fourth term. He met with Biden. We're just finding out in June,
right,
to sit down and talk with him because he sees his fourth term in jeopardy. So if he can get Michelle to do it, I'm sure he'd be more than happy to continue to run things as, I don't know, I kind of firmly believe he's doing right now. And all she has to do is show up for photo ops. How hard is this?
Yeah, I still think, and again, I don't think it's likely, but to say it's a 0% chance, I can't go there. I still think Gavin Newsom for the left is far more likely because all the signs are there, from the fundraising to and that's the weird part about all of this. And this actually plays into Stocker's belief of 2024, we will not see Trump or Biden head to head. It's weird that we're at a point now that in all likelihood, it's probably far more possible and probable, I should say, that come 2028, it's Gavin Newsom versus Ron DeSantis. And here we are in June, July, and August of 23, and people are trying to schedule debates between two governors because the expectation is that, if not now, one day, these two will be squaring off in a general election. Is it just kind of both sides planning for the worst, that either Joe and or Trump are disqualified or not eligible for 2024? Because we are still technically a long way away.
Oh, I know. In this country, we're the only country that starts the next election after the new president's sworn in on January 20th.
It's unbelievable, right?
It's crazy. And that's because we have an entire class of people, I wonder who those would be, who live for this, and it's their entire livelihood and their jobs, right?
Yes.
So here we are.
Right.
I don't think Trump drops out. I really, truly don't. I think he is so tenacious and he is such a fighter, and he feels so aggrieved that his presidency was stolen from him. Those 4 years before that even were stolen from him, that he's getting even. He is getting his due, and I don't blame him for that. Biden, I think, much more likely to be taken out than Trump.
As far as, and now, so what would you say the circumstances are? Because you know Joe's never going to be held accountable for anything with Hunter and business dealings. Is it he steps down because he's been told, like, hey, like it's time to walk away? I mean, do you think he passed? I mean, because the reality is this. I don't think anybody is out of line when they say this. There is a very good chance that if Joe Biden gets reelected, he could die in office in that second term.
Right. You're electing Kamala at that point.
Right. And
and
that is what I think keeps people up in the middle of the night or wakes you up from a deep sleep in a sweat. The fact that lady could be the most powerful person running the free world? I mean, this lady right here.
I love Venn diagrams. I went to school on a school bus.
You want to talk about, she is the definition of dreams can come true. If Kamala Harris can end up becoming the president, you can do anything you want in this lifetime. I firmly believe that.
Well, all depends on how you get there, but we won't go into that.
I didn't say the methods that you got to take to get there,
Right.
but you can get there.
Thank God that came out of your mouth.
Meanwhile,
yeah, I don't know how they take him out, but I think the Democrats will, they'll take anybody out. They'll take out their own. They don't care. They do anything for power. So whether they 25th Amendment him, whether they actually make him submit to a cognitive test and actually release the real results, and that's how they do it. I think there's a myriad of ways that they can get rid of Joe Biden, and they'll do it. I don't have any doubt about that.
But we shouldn't be speculating on Joe's cognitive ability or physical ability. They released the physical, the medical records. The White House practitioners said Joe is a very strong and capable and able 80-year-old. We should not speculate or question his ability to perform the job functions.
Well, he's
no, but they're allowed to.
I mean, right now he's in where Rehoboth.
Yeah.
Hanging out on the beach.
I mean, he's vertical, right? I mean, he's legitimately laying down in the beach chair.
Do we have that photo, Daniel, that you can put up, or that video that you can put up of
I mean, if this doesn't
president on the
if this
on the
doesn't
beach.
sum up his,
there we go. Look at that.
I mean, that right there in a nutshell.
that
If you're
looks
watching
lovely.
on YouTube,
There you go.
He's got the aviator shades on his belly. He's got the Rolex on, his slide shoes, his Skechers.
I will say, at least he's under an umbrella.
Right.
I don't want to burn.
Right.
Well, he should, since he's had skin cancer, so
Yeah.
he should be covered up. But the shoes on the beach, I just can't. And you can see it's the Secret Service guys behind him. See?
Yeah. And now he's vertical. He's sitting up and he's scrolling his iPhone. He's checking his mentions on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't understand
this thing
the
work?
shoes on the beach.
Hold on. He's actually got the phone up to his ear. He's got Hunter on speakerphone right now. What's the weather like over in Ukraine, pal? I love you. Call me back.
He has that "is this thing on" look, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, well, hold on.
Is this on? Hello.
Is this Joe? Here's Joe when he first found out the iPhone 8 was a thing.
Is this on? Hello.
Yeah. And there he is with his healthcare, his home care nurse.
Can we go back to the image of him laying in the chair flat, like he's collecting some sun?
Yeah.
Because I actually don't know if that's actually him on the beach. I would argue that's how he actually watches Kayal and Company on YouTube. That's just my guess.
Go to YouTube.com. Daniel, I love you. There's a new poll up there. Who naps more?
That's hilarious.
Nick or Joe Biden?
Yeah.
I love this.
You know,
this will get the most votes out of anything we've ever done.
No,
That's hilarious.
Who wants to actually watch a debate between DeSantis and Newsom when you can have a nap off between me and Joe Biden? I mean, how great would that be?
What we need to do is somebody needs to take a photo of you taking your nap in the afternoon and put them side by side with you and Biden.
All right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take like a pretend to be asleep nap selfie today, and I'll send it to you guys, and you guys can Photoshop it and doctor it up however you'd like and put it on social media.
Well, you will be happy to know that you are you are getting beat right now by Joe Biden.
Good.
So
that's the one time I'm willing to lose to Joe.
Who naps more? YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Go there now. Vote.
If you think about it,
you can watch these videos of Biden napping on the beach.
We
all do it. I mean, you know.
We actually have a lot in common. Joe and I both work 4 hours a day. I do 6 to 10. He does noon to 4. We both take naps. We have a lot in common. Me and the big guy.
You both go to bed early.
We both go to bed early. And sometimes we just lose our train of thought.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, there you go. I've got early Biden syndrome. There you go. EBS. All right, 855-839-1210 is the phone number. Coming up next, Justin Trudeau to be separated. And speaking of left-wing drama, what has Hunter Biden and his wife been up to in pricey beach rentals in Venice Beach, California? Well, we've got the details in the goods coming up next here on Kayal and Company.
It's the silver anniversary at Spring Dance Hot Tubs. You know, this month marks their 25th year of business, and you can save up to $2,500 on select hot tub models from Hot Spring and Caldera Spas. Dawn Stensland here. I love my Spring Dance hot tub. It's the best thing. It's like a little vacation in my own backyard, in the privacy of my own backyard. You got to do this. You got to get one. And for my friends who've followed my advice, They have friends over. They get in the hot tub. The grandkids come over, get in the hot tub. High quality time in the Spring Dance hot tub. For me, after a tough workout, a stressful day, and sometimes just to reconnect, especially with my husband, Larry, just to have a little glass of wine, sit in the Spring Dance hot tub. How you doing, honey? And feel the goodness of your Spring Dance hot tub. Let their jets do the magic. When you buy a new hot tub or swim spa, ask how you can apply for 0% financing for up to 60 months. You can find them in Jamison, Exton, Plymouth Meeting, and Marlton online at springdancehottubs.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Do you really want to take shots the rest of your life just to lose weight? NJ Diet's typical results are twice as fast as weight loss injections without any of the side effects. Plus, you'll learn proper portion control and develop healthy eating habits. With NJ Diet's 40-day program, you will lose 20 to 40 plus pounds contractually guaranteed. Lose weight quickly the healthy and natural way. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
Tastykake believes it's what's on the inside that counts, but a sweet new wardrobe doesn't hurt. Your favorite Tastykake treats like butterscotch crimpets, candy cakes, pecan swirls, and more are all now in new packaging. The treats you know and love have not changed a bit, only their fresh new packaging. That's right, new look, same tasty treats. For the best midsummer pick-me-up, grab yourself a Tastykake treat today because the only thing better than what's on the outside is what's on the inside. Tastykake, accept no substitutes.
So many listeners are enjoying beautiful, easy-to-maintain homes thanks to Rhino Shield, and you can too. Dom Giordano here with my good friend, the local owner of Rhino Shield. John, take it away.
Hello, it's John from Rhino Shield. For years, you've heard about our exclusive elastomeric ceramic house paint with the unheard of 25-year warranty. Today, I want to ask you, do you need to paint your home? Maybe even been putting it off for too long? If your answer is yes, then ask yourself, if you want to paint it one last time, or if you want to be painting it again in 5 or 6 years. Rhino Shield can make your next paint job your last. Rhino Shield is waterproof, protects your home, is affordable, and looks great on any exterior surface. Let Rhino Shield show you how you can be done with frequent painting. Call us today at 484-406-5111 for a free consultation. That's 484-406-5111.
Don't take shots just to lose weight. NJ Diet's typical results are twice as fast without any of the side effects. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days, the natural way. Go to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Got chronic joint pain but want to avoid steroids and surgery? Take some advice from pro football legend Emmitt Smith. Call QC Kinetics.
Let QC Kinetics help you improve your quality of life with biologic therapies that get your body to repair and restore damaged tissue.
These exciting new regenerative treatments from local medical professionals can help your body heal itself with lasting pain relief.
Trust me, you want to avoid surgery if you can. Check out these biologic treatments to see what your options are.
QC Kinetics, restorative regenerative solutions with no downtime, no surgery, no drugs.
I'm talking about joint pain we all can relate to in your knees, your shoulders, your hips, and your lower back. They'll get you feeling good again.
Get relief now.
What are you waiting on? Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics. 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
Beach or barbecue. Listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT anywhere. Just download the free Odyssey app. AUDACY.
It's Kayal and Company, 7:24. As we continue Thursday morning, Nick Kayal, Mary Walter. She is in for Dawn Stensland today and tomorrow. Doing a great job as always. Greg Stocker at the wheels of steel, as they say. On the other side of the glass. We got a lot of good stuff coming up. Cut sheet loaded, 7:45. Also, a very interesting debate on whether or not it's an actual bear. And we'll have some video to go along with that coming up. So if you're not on the YouTube machine yet, get there because you're going to want to have to figure this out on your own. And we'll have our thoughts as well. In the meantime, there's nothing like being a rich, spoiled, entitled son of a president. And that is, of course, Hunter Biden. As if it's not bad enough, Mary, that he's got these business dealings and, he was the bag man for Joe and he's, creating all these different shell companies and burner phones when he actually is in the United States and he's not hanging out at the White House, possibly leaving contraband behind. That's just a theory of mine. He's in Venice Beach, California. How about this story? Hunter Biden, an exclusive from the Daily Mail. Boy, they've had a lot of exclusive lately. They've just been breaking all sorts of news on Hunter Biden. But Hunter Biden trashed his $4.2 million Venice Beach rental house with his rude and entitled wife, Melissa, where they reportedly left behind property damage of $80,000. They left the property in disarray and disrepair. And actually, no, the property damage was not $80,000. They stiffed the owner $80,000 in unpaid rent.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I'm not surprised if you think about it, kind of a deadbeat dad, doesn't want to pay child support for his daughter, Navy. And then when he has to start paying $20,000 a month in support, which, again, is pretty remarkable because we think about his income and you're like, man, you think about what you have to make per month to give up $20,000 a month in child support. That gets dropped down to $5,000. And, him and his dad for years did not acknowledge the girl. So this is actually par for the course. You talk about selling the brand. This is the Biden brand, the Hunter Biden brand specifically.
It's disgusting. I remember when he was fighting about having to support Navy, his daughter Navy. Remember he was fighting, he needed everything reduced because he didn't have any money, yet he would rent out a huge home when he had to be in the area for any kind of hearings or anything along those lines, and he'd fly down on a private jet. But, he didn't have any money. He's crying poor. But you nailed it when you said this is the entitlement. This is how he was raised. And again, I think it goes back to he struggles with addiction. They lost a son, so they're trying to do everything they can to help him. And in their brain, helping him is never having him suffer the consequence of his actions, right? This man's still a member of the DC bar, despite violating every rule that you have to abide by to be a member of the DC bar. The other thing, and I can say it, you guys can't, what woman wants to sleep with that?
Right.
Seriously?
Somebody that just wants
totally
money?
skeeved by him.
I mean, so...
It's disgusting.
Most of them were hookers, right?
Yeah, but his wife. So am I out of line by saying Melissa's a gold digger?
Okay, I'm sorry, but how low are you willing to go to dig for the gold?
Well, I'm just wondering. I mean, not that I sit here and judge whether or not men are attractive or not, but it's not like Hunter Biden's some stud, right? But he's got a lot. He's got a lot of money and he's got a lot of influence.
How many Skittles was he able to place on it? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
From a chick's point of view, from a woman's point of view.
Which is why we have you, Mary. And for
I
your
want a
thoughtful
tank
analysis.
full of Clorox, and I would want him dipped in it
Oh.
like every day. I can't get past the skeeve. I can't. I would need a shower just to walk past that man, especially if you saw the videos on that lap. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, you do need a shower. I need the shower after talking about him for a segment. And that has nothing to do with the fact that I sweat a lot doing radio.
People who test for COVID every time they have a cough.
Yeah.
You have to constantly be testing for STDs, right?
Right. Well, you remember Hunter Biden's dental display prior to getting all those pearly whites, those veneers that he has that probably top and bottom, I think veneers are about $50,000 to get done. I mean, his teeth look like your typical crackhead in Kensington.
Yep.
And imagine
the plugs,
being attracted to that.
He's got the plugs like daddy, which I don't judge that. That's fine. I get it. If it makes you feel better, that's fine. Right. And I don't judge the teeth because, there are a lot of people who have destroyed their lives with meth mouth and they can afford it.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the package past that.
Well, according to these sources, quote, the Bidens were totally disrespectful of the property's owner, a guy named Jonathan, and his wife Leora, who rented out the property. Also, property records show that the home was sold and then rented out for $25,000 a month. So let's think about Hunter's expenses here. Imagine being this guy's accountant. You've got $20,000 a month in child support. You've got a $25,000 a month rental payment on top of everything else that you've got going on. And then apparently, according to one well-placed source, the former owner could only shift the property after cleaning up the Biden's mess and was left out of pocket when Hunter, 53, shorted him more than 3 months' rent. Remember, we talk about $80,000 in rent. $25,000 a month, though. So you do the math. I mean, that's well over 3 months.
They were only there for 6 months. Yep. So he basically didn't pay him for 50% of the time he was there.
Right. Well, I mean, look, some of that money from Burisma dries up. You're not the bag man for Joe as, like you used to be in 2014 and 2016. You got to cut back on your expenses. What do? You stiff the rent. You get evicted. Eviction notice. Get out. That's one thing you never want to have happen. And Hunter Biden maybe had that happen. And then you trash the property. So that's always a classy thing to do because you can't afford to stay there. 855-839-1210 is the phone number. Coming up next, the Justin Trudeau story, as well as, is it a real bear or is it just a human in a costume? Or is it maybe somebody transitioning from a human to a bear?
That's a possibility.
You can never rule that out these days. It's Kayal and Company. We'll transition to that next. Stay there.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Traveling, volunteering, spending time with family. What's your retirement look like? With income planning from Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor can help you grow and protect your wealth. They'll look at your full financial picture and help you create a flexible strategy that considers things like market conditions and healthcare expenses, so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Visit fidelity.com/income planning. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE SIPC.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Improve your gas mileage by properly inflating tires and taking your car in for a tune-up. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Hi, my name is PJ Vogt. I host the podcast Search Engine, where every week I hunt down the answers to the questions I can't get out of my head. Like, Why are drug dealers poisoning their customers with fentanyl? Or is my local sushi restaurant a part of an international scam? Or how sad are the monkeys at the zoo? If you, like me, find this world bewildering, but also sometimes enjoy being bewildered by it, check out the show on the Odyssey app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you listen.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. Talk to your cardiologist today. You may be glad you did.
John was compensated for his time. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb.
DuckDuckGo is a browser like Chrome, but it blocks trackers, so it helps stop those creepy ads from following you around. And DuckDuckGo comes with a private search engine like Google, but it doesn't spy on your searches. And there's no catch. It's free. Join the tens of millions of people taking back their privacy and download DuckDuckGo today.
Go green in style on Friday, August 4th at 7:05 when the Phils face the Royals. All fans receive a sustainable Phillies cap presented by PGW. Secure your seats at Phillies.com. Don't miss all the fun of Toyota Phillies Alumni Weekend when the Phillies play host to the Twins on Friday, August 11th at 7:05, Saturday, August 12th at 6:05, and Sunday, August 13th at 1:35. Order tickets now at Phillies.com.
Today's the day. If you have not done so yet, go to FanDuel.com/Greg. Sign up right now to unlock $100 in bonus bets. Right now. Do it. FanDuel.com/Greg. The U.S. women's soccer team is taking on the world, and you can take home bonus bets every time they win with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. You get $100 for new customers. You can get $100 in bonus bets guaranteed, plus another $10 in bonus bets for every team USA win. Like I said, FanDuel.com/Greg. Sign up today. Today's the day you have to sign up. However you want to play, don't miss your chance to get $10 in bonus bets for every Team USA win, plus $100 in bonus bets guaranteed. Go to FanDuel.com/Greg to sign up today. I love the FanDuel app. Make every moment more with FanDuel. It's America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT, so you know you're in good hands. 21 and over, President PA. First online real money wager only, $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Hello, everybody.
Kayal and Company, 7:36. Happy Thursday to everybody out there. Nick Kayal, Mary Walter, in for Dawn Stensland, Greg Stocker, Valdez and Dorenzo here as well. Cut sheet coming up in just about 8 or 9 minutes. It's going to be a good one. I also want to get to the Justin Trudeau story as he separates from his wife of 18 years, 3 kids. We'll get to that. And also what the future holds for Mr. Trudeau, because you can gamble on anything these days, and they've got the latest odds as to who his next girlfriend will be. We'll go through these and get Mary's expertise coming up in just a little bit.
There's a lot of weird rumors swirling around about him, too.
Yeah, I know. Actually, you know what? Let's just hash this out really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get through this turd Trudeau quickly, and then we'll get to something more interesting, like a bear. So Trudeau, I mean, I can understand why maybe the wife wants to leave. Your nation's literally burning down, wildfires. You had trucker protests, freedom convoy. But Trudeau, 51, and his wife, Sophie, 48, announced their split. They did so on Instagram, which is always an interesting approach. Married since 2005, share 3 children. And actually, before we get to these odds of who his next girlfriend will be, Mary Walter, I think you're the only one that's qualified to answer this question. If you had to choose, and I told you, Mary Walter, moving forward, you either have to be, and this was assuming that Mary Walter was single and available. I believe Mary Walter married for a long time.
Yes.
Justin Trudeau or Hunter Biden, if you had your preference.
Oh.
Go out for a cup of coffee. Hunter or Trudeau?
Okay, just a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Trudeau.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it would be like going out with my brother for a cup of coffee.
All right.
Right?
Yes. So let's look at these odds. Justin Trudeau, these are courtesy of OddsShark. Who his next girlfriend will be.
Yeah.
Now, I don't even know the first person's name here. Melanie, and the last name is spelled Joly, but it's not Jolie. It's not Angelina Jolie. It's Melanie Jolly, Joly.
No idea.
She's the runaway favorite. She's the only one at minus 170 odds. Everybody else is plus money for those who understand the way that works. So I don't know who Melanie Jolly is.
She's the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Canada.
Oh, okay. So it would.
She's married.
She's married. Okay.
Everybody's like Wikipediaing her right now.
Wait, hold on.
Or
Maybe she's not married. I thought it said personal life.
Melanie Jolly. She's the runaway favorite.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, she may not be married. I may have to take that back.
That's fine.
Yeah,
No,
she's not married. She's not married. Okay.
Spouse Felix Marzel.
Oh, yeah, I know
so she
Felix.
is. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, things happen. So she's the leader. Then after that, in second, of course, I mean, this woman pops up on every list. Kim Kardashian. She's at plus 450, which means you'd get 4.5 to 1 on your money. I kind of like Celine Dion at plus 900. 9 to 1 odds. You know, they play the Titanic song, My Heart Will Go On.
I was just going to say, My Heart Will Go On.
Yes. Yeah. And then you got some long shots. Angelina Jolie, Charlize Theron, Halle Berry, Janet Jackson.
Halle Berry? It's Halle Berry.
I'm sorry. I must have that spelled wrong. I do. Holly. Yeah, it's Hale, isn't it? I think I wrote that.
Halle, Halle.
That was actually not a pronunciation mistake. I was a spelling mistake because I hand wrote some of these.
I, as a side note, after reading your big takes for the last 3 days, you have a spelling issue.
I do. I have a spelling and a grammar issue. It's hard to believe
and
I
there's
actually
clearly
do radio.
No spell check either.
No
spell check.
No, I have a dated version of Microsoft Word on my laptop. They don't even offer the spell check.
Boy, she's gonna go out with a blaze of glory on this.
That's
She's
right.
like, yeah, you can't spell, and you're
here's
your
two
big
more.
takes.
Here's two more long shots, and it's also a long shot that I'll actually get a big take spelled correctly. By the way, you can get 50 to 1 on that. Jennifer Aniston and Madonna. And Madonna's kind of
Aniston.
Madonna.
Yeah.
That. Madonna, yes, I see it.
You
yes,
do? Madonna and
yes.
Trudeau.
There was a meme going around on social media that I loved the other day that said, if I would have told you in 1990 that Roseanne would be more attractive than Madonna, could you believe it?
Wow. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I think I'd still go Madonna, but that's just my choice. So go ahead.
No, I was going to say, here's my theory for Madonna.
Okay.
She was married to Sean Penn.
That's correct.
They're both beta males. Sean Penn is a beta male, right?
Yes.
A skinny little guy, right? Trudeau, skinny, total beta.
Yep.
Right? They're about the same age. She loves foreigners. Remember, she had a British accent for a while and she was pretending to be British?
Yep.
Right? They're part of the crown.
Is Sean Penn a beta male, do you think?
I do.
Yeah.
Really?
I do.
No,
yes.
Really?
The only
I don't
time
know.
the only time he screamed alpha was when he was in the movie Colors. And probably nobody remembers that movie.
I mean, not.
I got nothing.
I'm seriously not condoning this at all. But didn't he like knock the stuffing out of Madonna when they were dating?
Oh, spousal abuse.
I mean,
I
that
think
was
there
alleged.
were allegations, but to me, he comes off as a beta. That's just me. But Trudeau, I mean, is like super beta.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see where Madonna and Trudeau kind of work. I kind of get it.
That'd be pretty fascinating, to say the least. 855.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian, no. Sorry.
Yeah, she's always popping up on lists. It's like Michelle Obama for president. She's on the list every time, and it never happens.
By the way, Nick, you know how you asked earlier to show us yours, your setup. Joe Andre just tweeted out a picture, and he has a split screen. He has two TVs up in, it looks like his office.
Okay.
One has, I believe, SportsCenter on, and the other has Kayal and Company.
Well, so he's the only guy still watching SportsCenter, but he's one of many watching Kayal and Company.
I don't know if it's SportsCenter,
okay,
but it's some sort of football thing.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to show us your setup, how you watch Kayal and Company on YouTube,
yes,
tweet us a picture. You can tweet it at Nick Kayal, at 1210WPHT.
Yep.
Whatever you want.
Did you see what Chris tweeted out to you guys with the Biden setup on the beach?
Yeah, it's so funny.
He's got his phone propped up under the umbrella.
Yeah.
That's how Joe Biden watches.
Not a joke. Not a joke. Yeah, tweet us and we'll retweet them and post them on social media for sure. So we got about 3 or 4 minutes till we get to the cut sheet here. Let's get to this visual here because there's a lot of debate going on. If you don't know the story, a Chinese zoo has gone viral because it is denying that its sun bears, S-U-N bears, are humans in disguise. A zoo in China has stated that the bears in its sun bear exhibit are real after a video went viral on Chinese social media. And if you're watching on YouTube right now, you will see this zoo where you have this bear standing up vertically and waving.
First of all, this is the worst AI thing I have ever seen. That is a bear face and somebody dressed up as not a bear body.
There's no way that could be a bear's body.
There's no chance.
That dog looked more real than this bear.
This is the fakest thing I've ever seen.
And they are claiming it's real.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at the neck, it looks like he's wearing like a pullover mask, right? Where the little tan spot is.
Somebody just took a photo of a bear or a video of a bear's head and put it on this, whatever this is.
Valdez is saying that this is real.
All right, hang on.
The video is real. There was also a video someone took from the other side, and you can see from the back. And it has no button. You can actually see where the costume's kind of like folding a little bit in the back, where it's got ripples from the guy standing up straight. It's not real.
I can't imagine that this is remotely real.
Daniel,
I mean, it's not a real it's not a real bear.
No.
The video's real. It is not a real bear.
Daniel, state your case of why you think this is real.
It's a real bear. I mean, some bears look like that, and apparently the folds that you're talking about are to help it protect itself from predators and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, wow. Daniel.
How about that? Valdez,
you know him better than I am. I'm not going to say
bringing the
anything.
science. I mean, so let me give you some of the details here. Representatives from the Hangzhou Zoo in eastern China are denying, because, China's always honest with us, they are denying that their sun bears are really humans dressed in costume, and they insist that these are actually bears. Quote, "Some people think I stand like a person," the Hangzhou wrote, as if a sun's bear's voice. "It seems you don't understand me very well." The bear is named Angela, and despite the zoo's denial that the bears are humans, tourists have been flocking to the zoo to decide for themselves. Visitors to the zoo have increased by about 30% since the video was posted, and a video of Angela, which we are showing you right now.
Angela?
Yeah, a sun bear at the zoo has gone viral on every platform known to man. Quote, "After seeing this bear standing up on the internet, I wanted to see how it looked in real life, so I came here," said a man with the surname Yu, who explained he had only half believed the video he saw online, as Chow News also reported.
Chow News reported it, then it must be true.
No, this is just like they love their robots and all, and the dogs that aren't really dogs, are like little dog robots.
Mm-hmm.
They love all that stuff. I gotta find the video that somebody else took from the other side. And even when he sits down, listen, if they can show me this bear doing what a bear does in the woods,
yeah,
then I'll believe it.
And the bear, if you're watching it, I mean, the way it's standing so easily and waving its paw to the people, I mean, it just reeks human. I mean, I feel like I'm watching, I feel like I'm at Disney right now watching, people in costumes.
Timothy T says, this thing is so stupid. We shouldn't be talking about this. It's obviously fake. I'm with Stalker.
Right.
Let's put up a poll on YouTube. Can we? YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Is the bear real? Also, tweet it out. Daniel, if you can tweet, your mic's up, Daniel. Can you tweet out the picture or the video of this and take a poll question and see if it's real or not?
Yes.
I can on YouTube, Twitter. I can't. I don't have access.
He doesn't have access.
He doesn't have access.
Okay.
All right. I just love the way he says that.
You should tell your boss to give you access to Twitter.
Greg, you should give me access to Twitter.
All right, well, there you have it. So you guys can weigh in. I think it's a human being. Mary, Greg, the only person that actually believes it's a bear is
Daniel.
Is Daniel Valdez.
I want to see it eating. If you can show this bear eating, right?
Yeah.
Then okay, then I'm a little bit more open to it. But it can't, because it can't open its mouth because it's a costume.
I would agree. All right, well, there you have it. You guys can decide. You can fight in the chat, do whatever the hell you want.
Well, Daniel Valdez sent out a picture. Can you put up that picture, Daniel, on the YouTube chat or on YouTube of a real sun bear? And it does look like it.
Okay. All right. Well,
do you see it?
Yeah, now I do.
Mary, do you see that?
Wait, where is it?
He just texted it to us.
He texted it to
We're going to have this up on YouTube.
You know, I got the
audience.
Twitter going, the YouTube, and now I got to do the texting. Come on, people.
This does actually, you know what? It's almost.
It does look, but
I
want to
say,
see.
is it identical? Are they identical almost?
I don't know.
Wow. You know, I don't know what to believe anymore. I can't even do this show anymore. I don't know what to believe. Everything is misinformation. I have had it. All right, let's get to a Thursday installment of What's on the Cut Sheet.
What's on the Cut Sheet?
Cyberegg on Twitter or on YouTube says the bear has a Bud Light beer belly. That's a good point. What's on the cut sheet on this Thursday is brought to you by our good friends at Cherry Hill Volvo, where they have ample inventory of brand new and beautiful pre-owned Volvos. Enjoy the luxury experience you deserve. They always go the extra mile for their customers. You know you're in good hands when you go to Cherry Hill Volvo. Check them out on Route 70 in Cherry Hill, because relationships matter at Cherry Hill Volvo. By the way, streaming live on YouTube, if you're watching right now, please hit the like button. We're at 115 likes. I want to get to 200 likes. So if you're watching right now, please hit the like button. If you have not done so yet, please hit the subscribe button. I want to see where our poll is. With if that bear is real or not. It is 74% say no.
Say no. Okay. I think 74% are correct. But Valdez has boosted his credibility, because now he's actually showing us.
So it's up on the YouTube video right now.
These are weird looking bears.
They almost don't look like bears.
No. They look like a mix of, I don't know.
Their claws look like real bear claws.
Yeah. They trim their nails a little bit.
Former President Trump sat down with somebody from Breitbart yesterday.
Okay.
Was this yesterday? I guess it was. They just posted it, so
okay.
I'm not sure when it was, but he was asked about the GOP debate coming up August 23rd?
August 23rd, that's correct.
Will he participate? We've gone back and forth about this. I would like to hear Mary's take on if she thinks he should debate or not. But let's hear Trump talking about on if he will debate or not. This is cut 10.
Upcoming in just a few weeks is the first scheduled Republican primary debate. There's been a lot of speculation as to whether you're going to go or if you're going to do some kind of other event. You've talked about maybe doing something with Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Have you made your mind up? What's your plan on that front?
So I haven't totally made a decision. I like the debates. I might be here because of the debates. I might have won against Hillary with the debates, and I might have gotten the nominations because of the debates. But when you're leading by 50 and 60 points against these people, and you have people at 0 and 1 and 2, and then they're going to be asking me hostile questions, and they probably won't have much of an audience if I'm not in the debates. According to what I read, if I'm not in the debates, they're not going to have a very big audience. It seems almost like it would be foolish to do them. Reagan didn't do them. Other people didn't do them. And I don't know that I should be doing it, to be up against a hostile network with hostile people that are polling at 0. I mean, they don't have any votes. I mean, one of them had actually a 0 with an arrow pointing left. I'm trying to figure out what that means. Probably means that they have too many votes and, like the election. But they're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. And I'm in the 60s. I see a poll the other day, 78. I'm at 78, and you have people at 0. And I feel it's sort of foolish to be doing it. I think it's could be stupid. It could be a stupid thing to do. But I have not made up a decision. I don't mind doing them. I like to do them. I enjoy them, actually. And I think they're a good thing. But when you're leading somebody by 50 or 60 points, I think doing it might be foolish.
All right, Mary, how would you advise Trump on this?
Oh, first of all, I would never advise Trump. I could never be that person because I just think his brain works, I think, in a lot different ways than mine does. He seems to always be ahead of he can see 4 steps ahead. He just has that ability, which is why he's such a great negotiator. So I think the reason he's not debating or saying he's not going to debate is because he wants Fox to beg him to debate. He is mad at Fox. Right? They've kind of gone a little anti-Trump because of the whole Dominion thing. They don't want to touch this election issue with a 10-foot pole because of the settlement, right? Mm-hmm. They know that he and Tucker are close. They got rid of Tucker. He is not liking them now. I think he wants to see them come to him and beg him to be in the debate.
Well,
so I think it's a power play on his part.
I think you're exactly right because their story is out there that after learning that he would face yet another criminal indictment, former President Donald Trump dined with top Fox News executives at his club in Bedminster, New Jersey, as they urged him to take part in the upcoming GOP primary debate on the network later this month. That according to the New York Times. So, you've got a couple of the big wigs for Fox. They're sitting down, bottle of wine, nice meal at the golf course at Bedminster, and telling him, well, here's why we think you should do it, all while they know if they do this primary debate on August 23rd, sans Trump, the ratings will be minuscule.
Well, that's going to be an interesting next day for us because, honestly, who cares?
I mean, the reality is for this show, if Trump takes part in it, I'll tell you right now, August 24th, that's the big take. If Trump does not take part in it, we'll probably talk about that at 6:30 or 6:45, just from a show content scheduling standpoint, because Trump versus no Trump also impacts the way we do our show.
Agreed.
But, I wouldn't totally think that it's going to be a total snooze fest because these people are all fighting to knock each other out.
Oh, yeah, I'm still interested for sure.
It could be super, super interesting.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Speaking of that, Mike Pence, former vice president, took a flamethrower to Donald Trump yesterday. This is the first time he's really done this. Cut 5 here, he said this about Donald Trump. Then I have another clip of him. This is cut 5.
I really do believe that anyone who puts themselves over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. And anyone who asks someone else to put themselves over the Constitution should never be president of the United States again. What the president maintained that day, and frankly has said over and over again over the last 2.5 years, is completely false. And it's contrary to what our Constitution and the laws of this country provide. I dismissed it out of hand, but sadly the president was surrounded by a group of crackpot lawyers that kept telling him what his itching ears wanted to hear.
Wow, his itching ears, crackpot lawyers, that is probably the most animated I think I've heard Mike Pence. I mean, if anybody has heard a more hostile soundbite, please pass it along to us. But, Mary, we've talked about this a lot. Like, when it comes to Pence, what's the motivation here? All right, you're selling a book. All right, you're trying to get a TV gig. The approach, we've talked about everybody's different approach, right? Vivek, he doesn't really criticize Trump. DeSantis dances around him. Christie thinks he's throwing haymakers, but he's just swinging into a breeze. And Pence's strategy has clearly not resonated. I think at this point, the only thing that he can maybe hope to accomplish moving forward is to somehow remain in political office and latch on somewhere by using things like the Constitution against Trump.
So think of the chaos Trump could sow at the first debate should he show up, just by asking each one of his contenders, each one of his cohorts on the stage, do you think the prosecution against me is political?
Mm-hmm.
And let them duke it out, and he could just sit back because that puts it out in front of all of the voters, right? It puts it in front of all of the Republicans right there. He can knock probably 50% of them out right in the very beginning.
That's true, very true.
That would be great to watch.
And I think this first debate is going to be so interesting for so many people. And I'll just tell you, for DeSantis, I think right out of the gate on August 23rd, if he bombs, he's officially done. I would say this is like Game 7 for Ron DeSantis. It's do or die. It's win or go home. Like if he fails, and especially if he fails without Trump there and has the chance and the opportunity to really boost his profile without Trump there, and he stumbles, he's cooked.
Pence is a little more dangerous than you guys think. I'm just going to say that because I believe he is the star. He will be the star witness.
I agree with Craig
in this trial. He said this about which if he's under oath and he says this could spell trouble for Trump. This is cut 11, Daniel.
The founders of this country had just won a war of independence against a king. And I was confident as a student of American history that those founders would have never vested the vice president or anyone else with unilateral authority to decide what electoral college votes to count and which not to count. I was clear on that throughout. I was clear with President Trump throughout, all the way up to the morning of January 6th. But let's be clear on this point. It wasn't just that they asked for a pause. The president specifically asked me, and his gaggle of crackpot lawyers asked me to literally reject votes, which would have resulted in the issue being turned over to the House of Representatives, and literally chaos would have ensued.
Interesting that Mike Pence could be the, quote, smoking gun here, the former vice president of Donald Trump for his administration. You know, we heard Dershowitz, and I gave you all those quotes from Dershowitz this morning, and there's two different ways you look at this, the historical perspective, the legal scholar perspective, and then you look at some of what the evidence actually shows us so far in this indictment. And Dershowitz is of the belief that he does not see anything at this moment that would be like the nail in Trump's coffin on this specific indictment, unless, as you're alluding to here with that cut, Mike Pence could be the guy to kind of, issue that dagger, so to speak.
But doesn't that just destroy Mike Pence's chances of becoming president, unless the only reason he's running is to get Trump?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, because I've asked everybody this. I'm like, if you're Mike Pence, you have to realize you have no shot. Like, all of these people, and I know we're talking about Pence specifically right now, but Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, they're all doing it for a certain motive. They all know deep down inside, and probably DeSantis knows deep down inside that he's not going to win this primary. So what's Mike Pence's motive? Payback against Trump? Possibly. I mean, Pence did say that he was very upset over the fact that people came in on January 6th and they wanted to hang Mike Pence. Maybe that bothered him. And maybe this is his revenge tour, so to speak.
The ladies on The View were discussing this yesterday. They said that when he testifies against Trump, he will not be able to lie because of his Christian faith. And they sort of mock it here. Cut 6.
4 counts, pretty strong counts. 2 of the counts, I think, are the strongest ones because they involve Mike Pence. And we know Mike Pence is going to testify, and he is not going to lie. No. He'll feel like he's going to go to hell if he lies. Yeah. He's evangelical. Right? So he's not going to lie. He's going to take that very seriously.
Legal scholar and religious jokester Sonny Hostin offering up some interesting commentary there. By the way, did you guys see last week that Joy Behar apparently fell off her chair and face planted?
Again? She's done that before.
Apparently that happened last week again.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. I every time I hear one of them speak, I actually feel dumber afterwards. So I try not to watch them because, I feel the IQ leaving my brain. Sonny Hostin's also a racist. You forgot that out.
Oh, that's right.
And I love that the audience just cackled, because he's a Christian, and they just thought that was hilarious. Right. It's a disgusting group of people. The yapping yentas were never on in my home. I hate it. I filed a complaint when I had...
No way.
No. When I had to go have a test done at the hospital a couple weeks ago, they had the yapping yentas on on in the waiting room.
Yeah.
And I filed a complaint. I don't want to watch that stuff.
So take us through the paperwork here.
Because they send you a thing to review how was your, how was everything.
Did you give them a bad review on Yelp?
Well, no, they send. There's actually a company that sends you a questionnaire.
Yeah, really?
To see how satisfied you were with the service.
Could you imagine going to the dentist, Mary, and sitting in the chair, and you have to get a root canal done? And you're leaning back like Joe on a beach chair, and you look up at that little TV that they have in the ceiling at the dentist's office sometimes, and The View is on?
See, that's okay, because I just have them turn up the gas then. And then I don't know anything about it. So that's the only way I can watch The View is totally out of my gourd.
Hey, Doc, this medicine is wearing off. I need to boost me up.
I hear Joy Behar cackling in the background. Could you please put me out?
Oh, my God.
Chris Christie was on with Eric Bolling yesterday. We speculated, Nick, on this show about why he was running for president. I kind of speculated that it might be for his next contract with ABC, but apparently he put that to rest, saying that he got out of his contract, which ran through 2025, to run for president. So that was not true. Okay. And he's also betting that he will be the nominee. Okay. This is cut 9.
I love these interactions, and I just have a hunch. You kind of like TV too. And you might like the ABC gig where you're sitting next to Stephanopoulos, you're talking, about Trump and whoever. Does this have anything to do with Chris Christie wanting to remain front and center on when the red light goes on a TV camera?
Eric, I walked away from a contract that I had that was through the year 2025 at ABC. So I'm certainly not running for president to try to get a contract that I already had and gave up. No, I want to be president of the United States. And I know you don't see a path right now, but I'll tell you this, Eric, when I win New Hampshire and when I become the nominee, I'm still going to be coming on the Eric Bolling show because it's one of the great places to be on TV. You can admit you were wrong, and then we can go ahead and go beat Joe Biden.
Well, you are a good politician because I hope you do come on the Eric Bolling show. I'll tell you, in New Hampshire, you're at 6.7%. You got a tall row to hoe. I wish you luck. Again, is you sure that banging Trump is the best way to do that? I mean, I think Ron DeSantis tried it.
Yeah, I don't think banging Trump is the best strategy, and that applies for Chris Christie, Stormy Daniels, or anybody else.
Let me just push back on this a little bit. Like, Trump is not a king. Like you're running against him in a primary. You can criticize him. That's the whole point of a primary.
By all means, but it's just not resonating with any of these people. I mean, if you look at all the polling, like Chris Christie has said, I'll be the sledgehammer that goes through Trump. You can't dance around him and try to finesse it. You basically got to punch the bully in the mouth. Well, he's been punching the bully in the mouth, and he's sitting at 4, 5, 3, 6%, whatever it may be. You know what, though? If we ask what's the motive here for Chris Christie or any of these people not named primarily Ron DeSantis, they all have to believe deep down inside that, number one, they don't have a shot. But number two, they have to stay in the battle because in the event Trump ends up in jail, this thing opens up. And I don't
not necessarily.
You don't think so?
That's right.
No, he could. I mean, what would stop him from running from?
He said he's going to run from prison. Yeah.
Right.
His poll numbers will go up.
Well.
Very true. Listen, Chris Christie is aggrieved that Donald Trump didn't make him his attorney general. Donald Trump probably should have made him his attorney general, and he wouldn't have had the problems that he had, some of them anyway. So Chris Christie is just... somebody's giving him money to tour the country and whine, and it's kind of like his therapy. So that's what this is. If Chris Christie would stop whining and start talking about issues instead of just whining about Trump and just going around telling everybody how horrible Trump is because he was treated badly by Trump, he probably would be in a different position in the polls.
Don't you think, though, this is also why Americans are so fatigued with this drama? Because Christie talks about Trump, and Trump talks about 2020 and January 6th. And I think there's a big portion of Americans out there that are so tired of the drama and the petty grievances or the revenge tours and the vengeance. I mean, we've got people out there that can't afford to fill up their vehicles. We've got people that can't get out of a grocery store with a family of 4 for less than $250. I think there's a segment of people out there that are saying, dude, I need you to fix things in my life, and I don't care if you're butthurt over whatever happened to you politically in the past.
I agree. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stop whining. Nobody wants to, if you need therapy, do it in private on your own dime so I don't have to listen to it.
Yep.
And just tell me what you're going to do. But I also say the same thing about Trump. Stop relitigating 2020.
Yep.
Right? Could you please go tell me how you're going to fix this? I know you can. You've done it once. You can do it again. Tell me how you're going to do it. And let's stop relitigating 2020. If Trump could do that, his numbers would be higher.
And he's already blowing out the competition so far.
Yes.
So imagine how it would be, to your point, if he balanced these two out effectively.
Nancy Pelosi, with her fake crocodile tears, was on Morning Joe or one of the MSNBC shows yesterday, saying she's just heartbroken that the President of the United States has this list of charges against him. Cut 12 here.
You have a singular experience of
CNN.
January 6th. As you read the indictment,
all the same.
What was your reaction and what jumped out to you?
It's heartbreaking for our country to have a president of the United States with this list of charges against him. And I just want to commend the January 6th committee, the House committee, bipartisan committee, Benny Thompson and Liz Cheney, and all the members of the committee and the staff for the work that they did. They laid a foundation of facts, about facts and the law, and made a criminal referral to the Justice Department.
Yeah, and made it a crime to give you your First Amendment beliefs on what you think transpired. Yeah, she's real heartbroken. I'm surprised she didn't give Jack Smith a shout out for his great indictment that he drew up and put out for the American people.
Did you really think he drew that up, or somebody drew it up for him?
I don't know. I think it seems like a 12th grader drew it up.
True. I didn't miss Nancy. She's been kind of quiet lately.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't miss that.
Yeah, her and Paul, they've been on vacation, hanging out.
Where?
That's another thing. Paul Pelosi, now that you mentioned, what happened to his DWI, right? What happened to the DWI? And whatever happened to that whole guy breaking into the house thing and nobody knew about it and Capitol Police weren't monitoring and the alarm system wasn't on? What about that whole thing? What happened to all of that?
That thing was gone by before Christmas. Right. Yeah.
Who was in the car with him when he had the accident?
Yeah. Well, it didn't fit the narrative. It wasn't some right wing nut job. The guy had a pride flag at his camper that he was living in, right? So that all of a sudden that goes to the back burner.
Right, because it doesn't fit the narrative. But it goes to the back burner because of the media. But the American people, have the attention span of like a 3-month-old golden retriever puppy.
You're right.
That sees a squirrel and then we're off onto something else.
Yep.
And they know it and it works for them. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And oh, by the way, attention spans continue to shrink day by day in this country by generation.
Yay. I'll be dead by the time it all goes south.
Yeah, the Gen Z crowd have the attention span of salad dressing. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get them to look at you for more than 2 seconds before they start drifting off.
Yeah, I'll be dead by the time they're in power. So,
by the way,
me too.
By the way, Nick, me too. By the way, Nick, I noticed you tweeted out a picture of somebody watching or listening to Kayal and Company on their drive to work.
Yeah.
If you have not done so yet, download the Odyssey app because there's a new avatar. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
A new thing up there.
Yeah, new thing about
a thing.
A new. Cover art, I guess. Logo. Thank you.
Artwork. Anytime. That's why I'm here.
Check it out. Tell us what you think. Yay or nay.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sold on it. I don't love it, but I think it's fine.
Can we break it down, or do you want me to not?
No. I want people to go to the Odyssey app.
Okay.
Download it and look at it and give us your feedback.
Okay.
Up or down.
And also the fourth floor stalls checks in on Twitter.
Yeah.
And says a lot of folks watch Kayal and Company in here. And he's got a picture of some guy sitting on the can while looking at his smartphone.
I saw that.
Remarkable.
Not right. That's not right. Let's put on our tinfoil hats for a second, shall we, Mary, Nick?
Yep.
Vivek rhymes with cake. Ramaswamy was on with Alex Stein, Ben Stein, Chris Stein. I don't know.
Win Ben Stein's money
from the Blaze, and was asked on whether 9/11 was an inside job.
Oh, boy.
This is Vivek, cut 8.
That's what we need. We need a partner. Okay, rapid fire question. Was the moon landing real or fake, Vivek?
Was the what, moon landing?
Real or fake?
I have no evidence to suggest it was fake, so I'm gonna assume it was real.
Okay, 9/11, inside job or exactly how the government tells us?
I don't believe the government has told us the truth. Again, I'm driven by evidence and data. What I've seen in the last several years is we have to be skeptical of what the government does tell us. I haven't seen evidence to the contrary, but do I believe everything the government told us about it? Absolutely not.
Last two questions.
The 9/11 Commission? Absolutely not.
Yeah, 9/11 Commission lied. Last two questions.
Why is that guy got to talk so fast? What is he trying to rush through a segment? What has he got? A short break coming up? I mean, my God.
He's annoying.
I agree with Vivek on I don't believe the government has told us the truth and given us all the facts and details.
Well, that's different. What you're saying, Nick, I agree. I don't think the government tells us the truth on anything. I believe that the government hasn't told us the whole truth on 9/11. However, that's way different than saying yes, it was an inside job.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, define inside job is like saying define stolen election. I mean, I think you could define a stolen election from 2020 by saying, had I have known about the Hunter Biden laptop story from the New York Post that Facebook didn't censor, I would have voted differently. I don't think you have to I don't think everybody has the same definition of stolen election or inside job. My belief on 9/11 for a long time has been that the Bush administration could have prevented this from happening. And this was them allowing it to happen, to go over to Afghanistan and then go over to Iraq. Because remember, September 11th, 2001, next thing you know, we're in Afghanistan, and then we're in Iraq. And of course, G.W. Bush trying to do what the old man couldn't, and that was get Saddam Hussein, fake claims of WMDs, on and on and on. But I do believe that 9/11 could have been prevented.
Mary Walter.
I don't believe that we know everything. I don't think they're going to tell us everything. Do we have the right to hear everything? And maybe some stuff we don't need to know, right, for security. But I don't believe that our government brought down the towers.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Valdez says Alex Stein was the one who questioned Brittany Griner at the airport. Remember we played the phone footage?
Yeah,
he's a D-bag.
Okay.
I don't like that guy.
Notice Mary's quiet. She wants to make sure she keeps all her oars in the water. Right?
Wait.
Does Alex Stein work for somebody?
The Blaze.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, no.
Don't you do work for the Blaze?
I do.
Okay.
I do. On their radio shows.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but
you can remain mum. I don't work for the Blaze, and I'll call him a D-bag.
No, I just don't have an opinion on him, to be totally honest with you.
Okay, it's fine.
All right, let's go rapid fire here. Do we think the moon landing happened? Yes or no?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes, on a sound stage. It happened.
Oh, you're good. Thank you. Yes.
It's like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber. We landed on the moon.
I agree.
Answer the question you were asked. Yes, it happened.
JFK, was it just Lee Harvey Oswald with it?
Whatever RFK Jr. believes, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was not just Lee Harvey Oswald. I'm not buying that for a hot second because they still won't release the files that they were supposed to release. They're still withholding some of them, so that makes me think there's something there.
Yeah. John Cozen says Mafia. I tend to agree with that. How about RFK? Sirhan. Do we buy that?
No.
No, I don't either. No. Okay.
He was like 24 years old at the time.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Do we buy Jeffrey Epstein hanging himself?
Absolutely
No.
not.
Okay.
No.
Zero chance that happened. What else?
He knew the Clintons, so definitely not buying Epstein because he knew the Clintons.
Throw something else at us. What?
You get parents turn your car radios down. Santa Claus.
Let's go here with, let's see here. Let's do Bill Maher, shall we?
Yes.
Bill Maher
interviewed
Sharon Osbourne. Bill Maher really coming out of his own, coming into his own with his podcast he's doing.
I enjoy it.
It's fun. I listen to it often. He just interviewed, who did he just interview? I think he interviewed Ice Cube or something.
Ice Cube, everybody, man. He'll bring on anybody from any political spectrum, you name it.
Sharon Osbourne was a guest, and they talked about all these Democratic mayors pretending that they love migrants so much. Cut 7.
Could everybody just stop the posturing? Don't pretend that you love migrants so much, and then when we send them to you, you don't like them. You know? Mm-hmm. You're full of and we can see that. Yeah, you like them when it wasn't your problem because you're not a border state. And then when they show up in Chicago and New York, you're like, what are we going to do with these people? Yeah. There's got to be a solution to this that is compassionate. Is it that hard to be compassionate without being a
I'm looking at some of the visuals here on this. If you're watching on YouTube, number one, I love how Bill Maher just goes for like a straight double of gin on the rocks. That's a great move by him.
Is that gin?
I think it's either gin or vodka he typically pours.
I thought it was tequila.
Is it tequila? Either way, I like tequila too. Yeah. Any clear liquor is good by me. But what's up with Sharon sitting there with her feet all crunch? She doesn't even have her feet on the floor. It's like she's sitting in her own little chair at home, cozying up for like a couple hours of Netflix. What's that about?
I think
But that's what it is, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think it shows how close her and Bill are, actually.
Oh, really?
You know, that she feels comfortable doing that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a relaxed environment.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, you got marijuana and all kinds of liquor on the table.
I was going to say, did you not miss the joint in his hands?
Yeah, he's definitely got one
Did you
going.
miss that?
Yeah.
In regards to the actual content that they were talking about, the Democrats are full of crap, no doubt about it. I mean, we sat here and all this stuff of, well, it's political gamesmanship, and they're putting on a show, and Greg Abbott this and Greg Abbott that, and oh yes, we believe in these are human beings. And then when they get bused to New York or Chicago or Martha's Vineyard, then it's like, oh wait a minute, it's now on my front porch, on my doorstep. I can't have this happen. It's another hypocritical thing that the Dems are all about.
Right. It was, I just love that it was kidnapping.
Yeah.
Right? when the governors of Texas and Florida did it, it's kidnapping. But when they do it, it's like, I really don't have room for you people.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No vacancies here.
Right.
We're
Exactly.
booked.
It's phenomenal to watch it come home. The problem is that in cities like New York, the people who can get out, who voted for this stuff, do get out. And where do they go? They go to New Jersey and they go to Pennsylvania. And what do? They vote for the same stuff that they just fled in New York.
Yeah.
They're locusts. They destroy an area and then they just pick up and move on and then destroy the next area.
And that's exactly, and I've seen it and lived it firsthand. I mean, I moved to Nashville in 2018 during their boom, and you have all these people that wanted to live in a red state, yet they bring and they also claim they're sick of all this stuff in a blue state. Imagine saying you're sick of it and then you continue to vote and advocate for it come election time.
Yeah,
That's the maddening part.
No one said they were smart.
No, but this is a common theme. Like
Right.
this happened in Georgia 25, 30 years ago when Atlanta started to boom and blow up. It's happened in Charlotte. It's happened in Nashville. Now you've got, did you see the story about Soros with this kind of dark shadow funding in Texas? They're going to make, they've already made Georgia a purple state. They're trying to make Texas a purple state. The one state that they'll fail at, and I think some of it has to be credit to DeSantis, is Florida. Florida's never been as red as it is right now.
They're doing it to Montana. My husband and I have been going to Montana since, the late 90s, early 2000s. And they are doing it to Montana. California vomited it into Montana during COVID with the help of Yellowstone. Thank you. And, they would walk in and they would have, a couple $1 million. They did it. They've been doing it in Jersey for a while now because the beaches in Jersey, in New York were closed, opened in Jersey during COVID. So they found all these cute little beach towns that nobody was going to, and they're destroying them. And that's what they do. They're very good at spreading the contagion.
Yep.
By the way, John Evans on the YouTube chat, if you have not done so yet and you're watching right now, please hit the like button. We're at 160. I want to get to 200 likes, so we need 40 more likes right now. So if you're watching right now, please hit the like button. John Evans says, Mary looks like she's locked in one of those metal sheds in someone's backyard.
Okay.
It's just because it's because we're in a 3-shot right now, so it's a closer shot for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actual authentic beadboard from the 1880s that I am sitting in a room.
Is there a way where you can actually show us like a panoramic view of your setup for the audience, or do you have like?
Well, she doesn't have to if she doesn't want to. If she doesn't want to show her house, you know what I mean?
No, but
I'm just talking about like where her microphone and her computer is and things like that.
Yeah, it's just this is beadboard in the attic because this is the old servants' quarters and they had to live in the attic.
I mean,
right?
it does look like you're in like an AOC hostage video right now on Instagram. I'm not gonna lie.
It's actually a very lovely room. Well,
Okay.
I mean, it's small, but it's perfect for the acoustics.
Mary's broadcasting from the Taliban Radio Network studios.
Listen. I'm not wealthy enough to have one of these home setups. I don't have a room in my house that I can just dedicate to a TV studio and spend tens of thousands of dollars on transforming it with shelves and like lots of hardcover books with the American flag and all that other stuff. I have my Gracies, and I have a little piece of furniture to make it not look like it was an old servant's bathroom. That's where I'm in.
Right. I don't know, Mary. I know what that microphone costs, and that's a
okay. Can
fairly
I tell you
expensive
that
microphone.
This is courtesy of Fox News. So
Same one we have.
They set up my studio for me.
Yeah.
Oh, nice! Look at you.
You should have seen me in the pandemic, Mary. I was doing my shows for Odyssey from my kitchen table in Nashville. You should have seen that setup.
Well, see, I don't want to live that way because I do TV a couple of days a week, right? And I have the podcast, so I need something that's up all the time. And my husband finally said, it would be nice to have the living room back.
Yeah.
And so up to the servants' floor I went.
There was nothing like doing a radio show during the pandemic in a kitchen where your ice machine's making noise mid-monologue, your dog's walking around on the wood floors.
Mary, I apologize. I should have told you beforehand that I see funny comments and I read them. I should have made sure you were comfortable with me.
Mary,
that's fine.
If Greg ever starts laughing while you're talking, it's usually because he's reading comments. It has nothing to do with you being funny.
Oh my gosh, and now they're complaining that my face is too lit up. Really? The room has one window, people. One little window. And since there's no air conditioning in the attic, I have the air conditioning vent to go there, and there's awnings. So there's barely any light in this room. Seriously, come over and redo it for me, all right?
Oh, boy.
If you're going to criticize, come over, redo the room for me.
Now you're,
Dear Lord.
Now you're a full-fledged member of the Kayal Company comment community.
Holy crap, people. And I love the ones who complain are the ones who don't have their real picture as their icon, right?
Yeah.
They hide behind like a P, Peter, or a Joe Biden says I look crazy, but he just has a fake picture, right? I love those who complain the most are the ones who hide the most. So just shut up.
It's our fault. It's our fault, Mary, because we've created this because the people who comment on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, they know if they're snarky and they're funny and they call one of us out, it gets read on the air. So that's their whole motivation behind it.
Well,
we've created this environment.
The next one who complains can come over with a heat gun, strip all the white paint off of these walls. Then you can go after them and you can sand them down, and then you can refinish them. And if you want, you can make the window bigger and fix the lighting for me. All right?
I don't feel like I'm in a safe space anymore. I'm going to go find a safe space.
I can hear people right now driving to work or listening on the Odyssey app, and people going like, "This is radio, people. This is radio."
Yeah, can we get back on topic here?
All right.
We need more of this.
Maybe we can spend 2 more hours talking about Trump v. DeSantis.
Thank you, John and Secret Squirrel.
Sorry.
Okay.
He has a whole board, Mary, of just me and my sometimes bad outbursts.
Mary, your rant might make the board.
Here you go. Put up or shut up.
There you go.
It's funny. We got into this yesterday a little bit, Nick, and I had this on my list yesterday, but there was so much yesterday that I didn't get to it. COVID is back.
It is.
And we are, the news media wants to scare the living S out of us because COVID is back and Americans should start wearing masks again.
Mm-hmm.
The quote is, "Time to bring them out again, especially as the school season starts," according to MSNBC Dr. Kavita Patel. This is cut one.
If you've noticed more of your friends, neighbors, loved ones are testing positive for COVID, you're not alone.
I haven't, no.
According to the CDC, COVID-19 hospitalizations are up 12% from last week. And while we're nowhere near any previous levels, it's still raising concerns. Joining us now with more is Dr. Kavita Patel, who served as a White House policy director in the Obama administration. She is an MSNBC medical contributor. Dr. Patel, it's always great seeing you. So I think we've kind of all been noticing that, right? There's someone you know, or people are, think they have a cold and it ends up being COVID.
Nope.
What's going on? What are you seeing?
Well, we're seeing the same thing, Jose, in clinic. We are, as you said, hospitalizations going up. Let me just start with some good news. We are not seeing anywhere near the dramatic rises that we saw in previous summers or previous years. That's good news.
Let's
That's
keep it
because
moving.
a large part of the population, Jose, has already either been infected and vaccinated or both several times.
Yeah.
So what I think people need to know is that I would just put people on alert that when you're in those crowded spaces, think about the coughs and the colds, and sometimes many people don't even have any symptoms. A mask can be your best friend. Keep it private. Back in time, we had them in our pockets, in our coats, in our backpacks. Time to bring them out again, especially as the school season starts. We don't want to see kids missing school for things that we could have prevented.
Right. We'll just send them home and let them learn on Zoom. I love how a mask can be your best friend. They romanticize this piece of cloth like it's your best buddy. When things are rough, just turn to your mask. When life's not fair, just remember the mask is there. Good God Almighty. I will make this proclamation right now. I will never wear a mask again the rest of my life unless it's for Halloween.
The sickness of this is, and the sadness of this is that kids don't. If kids get COVID, they have few symptoms, and if it doesn't harm them in the way that it harms someone who is over 67 years old. If you're older and you have the comorbidities, we know that. So it's a lie. This is just to keep people obedient. They realized what they could get away with last time. I don't think the country goes for this a second time around. I just don't see it happening.
No, the people in power will try, but I think the pushback this time will be significant, except for some of the sheep out there that will adhere to it, because those are the people that are probably still walking around with a mask in the summer right now, as they drive inside their car with their windows up and the air conditioning on. It's just a fascinating thing. Like, what are you doing?
By the way, broadcasting live right now on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Please hit the like button if you're watching right now. It was not only MSNBC, Nick and Mary, that wanted to scare the living you-know-what out of all of us. It was also ABC's Good Morning America. They warned of rising COVID hospitalizations. Cut 2.
George, now to new COVID concerns this morning. Now, the number of people testing positive in hospitals appears to be ticking up. Stephanie Ramos is here now with a reality check on what those numbers mean. Good morning, Stephanie.
Hey there, Michael. Good morning. These days, it's almost impossible to tell how many COVID cases there really are. The CDC has stopped keeping track, and most people don't report their cases anymore. So the best way to track the virus is counting people who test positive during hospital admissions, and that number, while pretty small, is on the rise. According to new numbers from the CDC overnight, COVID hospitalizations have increased 12% in the week ending July 22nd compared to the prior week. But to put that into perspective, hospitalizations still remain at record lows. There were a little more than 8,000 weekly hospitalizations, and for comparison, peak Omicron was more than 150,000. Deaths now have not increased, but there could be reporting delays. The federal government is now setting its sights on treating long COVID. New studies and an Office of Long COVID Research and Practices to lead the reporting numbers for people suffering from the virus.
Yeah. Spit it out, Chief. Come on, let's go. I'm going to sound very dated here, but Mary, back in my day when you didn't feel well,
back in my day,
you just stayed home. So how about we just go back to basic, simple times? If you don't feel good and you think you might have that stinking virus, just stay inside and let me live my life and stay out of my way. How about that?
Yeah, I'm older than you. Back in my day, you sucked it up and went to work.
That's correct.
It didn't matter. You went to, especially if you're on the air and you don't, you're a solo host and there's no one to fill in for you. They're like, oh, you can just, play a clip or whatever and, vomit into the garbage can. And that's a true story. So, I don't know. I just don't. This is so dumb. Listen, COVID. It's sad to say, but when you have some kind of pandemic or something along these lines, there's what's called the burn through. There's the burn, right? And the burn is the people who are most susceptible to it and the most fragile and have the most compromised immune systems. They're the ones who are going to become susceptible to it, and they're the ones who are going to die. That's just the way it is. And I don't say it to be callous and cold, but that's how these things work. Now you have the people who have the healthier immune systems, the people who maybe have been through this before, maybe have some natural immunity, those types of things. And so it's going to be less deadly the next time it comes around. It's going to be here forever, just like the flu. And we got to learn to live with it.
Well said.
Do you guys predict that once the fall starts, and of course we're going to see a rise in COVID cases because in the fall we see a rise in flu and we see a rise in colds and we see a rise in everything else. Do you think we see masks come back?
My official prediction, I'll go on the record.
Yeah.
When we come out of Thanksgiving break, colleges and high schools will have a 10-day mandatory mask mandate from travel and as Fauci would say, congregating around in a congregational setting. I wanted to wring his neck every time he would say that. Yes, I think we'll get a 10-day post-Thanksgiving stretch. Just in schools.
When I got COVID, I got it at a party the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It was a super spreader event, I totally admit it. And I'm not surprised, but got it over with, I'm done.
Yeah. I think that's how most people feel.
Yeah.
Let's do. Yeah.
I just also love too, by the way, in those two clips, how they both said, "Well, yeah, cases are on the rise, but we're nowhere near a danger level." So they throw out that little like a disclaimer and qualifier, and then they also the first clip that we played. Have you been around people that have gotten COVID? Talking to people that are starting to no. In my circle, I haven't heard the word COVID in months. I don't know where these people hang out at.
You are 100%. There was a time when it was a lot of people discussed.
Is there like COVID focus groups or something that I'm not a part of?
It's true. It's funny.
Well, to be fair, they were between indictments, so it was a slow news week.
Yeah. By the way, since I'm always pimping and plugging, if you have not done so yet, go to Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app. When you click on 1210 WPHT right now, there's a new cover art photo of Kayal and Company. Give us your reviews on it. Is it up? Is it down? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Yeah. Let us know. I'm on the fence with it as well as Nick is as well.
Yeah.
When Dawn comes back next week, we'll get her. I'm sure she's going to hate it.
And I'm largely against it because my head looks like a huge potato.
Well, we took that photo in January. We took the photo in January, and we were all pale. And
Mary, you're a radio veteran. Isn't it amazing how the radio industry always wants to do photo shoots with talent when we're all pale, fat, and pasty and it's cold out? They never have this idea like in July. But I've got a great tan going and I'm 13 pounds lighter.
So to be fair, I don't suntan. I don't do that. But to be fair, if you look at the on-air staff of any given radio station, it's usually not a really good-looking group of people. So they don't have a lot to work with if we're being fair.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can only do so much with technology and Photoshop.
Sorry, guys, it's true.
Let us know. Give us the up. Give us the down. If you enjoy it, it's better than that K. I didn't like.
Oh
that
my
K.
God, yeah. That was just a quick search.
In case you guys were wondering, yes, the actor strike and writer strike is still going on in Hollywood. Does anybody care?
Does anybody watch the shows where the writers are on strike?
Nobody's noticed.
These shows have been on strike and have been off since April, and nobody has noticed.
I never advocate for people losing their jobs, but I think these are the moments where you realize if you're actually running some of these companies, you're like, man, we're spending a lot of money on things that maybe we could actually scale back on and get away with if we just eliminated these types of roles.
The whole argument is over streaming. Who should be paid for the streaming? Should the actors, actresses, writers, should they be paid for streaming, or should that be somebody else? This is Snow White actress Rachel Zegler.
Yes.
She said this about what she deserves to be paid. Cut 3.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
There we go.
I saw that on Twitter yesterday, and I actually commented on that, one of my few posts. You'd be very happy, Greg. I've really scaled back.
You have.
The patch is working.
I am proud of you.
I actually transitioned from the patch to the gum. But if AOC was a Disney character,
yep.
That's her. That's her right there. Sounds like AOC, looks like AOC, thinks like her.
She does look exactly like AOC.
That's AOC.
Yeah, we just played the video.
Yeah.
Daniel, I don't know if you can put the still shot of her up there, and maybe we can put a picture of AOC up there too, but it's almost identical.
It really is.
Yeah.
And she's the one last week. Didn't we play her last week where she had some real long-winded speech, and we're like, is she a Disney character or is she a future politician?
Yeah, she does. She does. It's that photo. It's that video. Like if you're watching right now on YouTube, it's that video where she's talking to Entertainment Tonight.
Now, if we could slide in like a still shot of AOC next to her, I mean, that would be like a future like AOC Instagram hostage video. her and her doppelganger, her Snow White doppelganger.
What do you guys think about them being paid for streaming and all that stuff?
I mean, I'm all for. There's AOC. Now we got to. Can we slide AOC a little bit over so we can see both of them split screen?
Yeah.
While you do
You're
that,
You're asking for a lot here, dude.
I am.
I know. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. That's
oh,
he's great at his
yay.
job.
That's 14-year-old AOC.
It is.
There she goes.
Yeah.
Yep. I know. Like I'm all for talent being compensated for whatever they can get compensated for. Actually, now that she's given me a great idea, I think based on YouTube views, there should be a bonus on my deal, to be honest. I'm going to have to start thinking about that, Stalker.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, pandering for likes. I'm providing the content. I mean, am I being compensated for YouTube? I don't think I am. This was a post-contract creation. We'll go back to the drawing board here.
YouTube, dude. Get compensated for your prep time. Come on.
Well,
my Lord. All right, both of you.
And I regret asking Nick this question. That's it. The cut sheet's over.
I'm just giving you a little hint. That's all.
No, well, are they? Because
right.
so how do so let's say like Seinfeld. Seinfeld's still being paid based off of royalties for reruns, right?
Yes.
Right.
So some of these individuals, if their content goes from theater to streaming or whatever, I mean, I got to imagine a lot of them get compensated for that, right?
They should. I mean, if it's, I don't have a problem with that. It's no different than royalties. You know, it's kind of like I have to compare it to what I know, which is our industry. And when you do voiceovers, for instance, you get paid for a certain amount every week that the ad runs.
Mm-hmm.
So, and depending whether it's national or local and the size of the market and all that kind of stuff. So even though you only voice it once or however many times to get the sound that the client likes, after that, you get paid for every week that it runs. So it's kind of the same thing, right? So why shouldn't they be compensated for streaming?
Well, she's making it almost sound, I feel like maybe we just totally missed what she actually said because we got caught up in whether or not she looks like AOC. Can we actually listen to her again? Because I feel like she's claiming that she should be paid for standing for hours.
Around. Yes, that's what she was claiming.
I'm going to play this again, Daniel. Cut 3.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Well,
no, she's saying because she's standing there dressed as a Disney princess, every hour that it's streamed online, she should be compensated for that. Not being paid for standing there in the Disney dress.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which
it was a bad analogy on her part, or bad reason why she should get compensated for streaming. It wasn't a well-made point.
No.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, there needs to be a reckoning point where, and it's going to come here for radio too, because there's going to be a time where more people are listening on streaming devices and watching on streaming devices
than on 1210.
Yeah. So yes, the market is going to need to correct itself.
But you know, she's a relatively young, up-and-coming actress. I don't know what her IMDb page looks like. I'm assuming this was her biggest role to date. Boy, for somebody that's kind of in the headlines, and I'm assuming did relatively well for compensation-wise, she sure is angry.
Yeah,
she's gonna make a hell of a Democrat in a couple of years, man.
What do you mean in a couple of years? She probably already is.
I mean, once she's legally eligible to vote.
Right, and then when she becomes a millionaire, she'd be one hell of a socialist.
Because I think she's, 17, we said?
Is she?
I think so.
You think she'd be a tad more humble, but...
Right. Like when I was 17, I was just happy to have my new cell phone and $40 in my gas tank. Now she wants to be paid for streaming.
Yeah, well,
These Utes.
I guess I'll have to wait for the pregnant woman who thinks she's a dude, says pregnancy is not womanly or feminine. I'll wait for that for 9:45 this morning.
That screams part due for sure.
Yep.
All right, that'll do it for What's on the Cut Sheet Part 1, 8:39 on this Thursday morning. It's Kayal and Company here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Nick Kayal, Mary Walter is in for Dawn Stensland. Greg Stocker as well. Coming up next, we will wrap up the first hour with a little bit more on Donald Trump. The fourth indictment looming, and Fulton County says, oh, yeah, no, there will be one of these. We'll tell you what he's talking about coming up next. That's courtesy of the Fulton County Sheriff as we continue. Kayal and Company, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. But first, let me tell you about my friends at DuckDuckGo. So you've been listening to the cut sheet, and maybe you want to do some research on that 17-year-old from Snow White who's angry that she's not compensated. Well, all you have to do is download the DuckDuckGo app or go to DuckDuckGo.com, and you could get all the information you need, because DuckDuckGo is a browser like Chrome, except it's private. It blocks trackers. It's not from the West Coast. It's local, and it will not tread on you. We don't like people that are spying on your searches. You don't like to go from website to website and see previous sites' ads pop up, or for products that you were looking up to pop up and annoy you. DuckDuckGo is an independent internet privacy company. 3 billion private searches a month, used by tens of millions of people, and it's the #2 mobile search engine in the U.S., UK, Canada, Australia, and more. A 4.7 average rating on Apple and Google Play, and it doesn't matter what device you have: smartphone, smart tablet, laptop, desktop, Apple, Samsung, Galaxy, Droid, iOS, Windows, Mac. They're everywhere. Just download them today. DuckDuckGo's the app, or try their website, DuckDuckGo.com.
Does your knee pain keep getting worse? How about that pain in your shoulder or hip or your back? Don't let them tell you steroids and surgery are your only option. Take my advice now. Call QC Kinetics. Dawn Stensland here. You know, QC Kinetics can make that pain go away with all-natural advanced regenerative medicine. And they're helping people here in the Philadelphia region every single day with these amazing natural treatments which restore and repair damaged joint tissue. It's like turning back the clock. Regenerative medicine uses concentrated healing agents from your own body, which stimulate that damaged tissue in your joints so they can work like they're supposed to. Zero downtime. How about that? This is a remarkable option. You need to check it out, and the consultation's free. Just call QC Kinetics now. 215-999-3000. Would you just call QC Kinetics? Call them today. 215-999-3000. Tell them Dawn sent you.
The day we all feared. The stock market went down and then kept going.
2008, when the markets lost over 50% of their value. But that was over a decade ago. Today, it's not so painful. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group calls that financial amnesia. When you forget the pain of losing half your savings, and more importantly, ignore the fact that it can happen again. A complimentary consultation from Retire Ready Financial Group can show you where you stand now before the next market pullback. You're much closer to retirement than you were in 2008. Don't let it happen again. Call Jim Cipriotti at 610-894-7415 for a complimentary consultation. That's 610-894-7415 or online at retirereadyfg.com. You can forget where you put your keys, your glasses, or even your car. Don't forget to protect your retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
A jury in Pittsburgh has recommended a death sentence for the Pittsburgh synagogue mass shooter. Former President Trump is expected to be arraigned today for his alleged attempts at overturning the 2020 election. And Drexel University men's basketball player Terrence Butler was found dead in his on-campus apartment.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Kelly from Emmons Roofing and Siding, and I have some exciting news to share. Emmons has partnered with SunPower, the top-rated home solar company in New Jersey. SunPower has been leading the solar industry for over 37 years and is the only U.S. solar company that's lasted longer than their 25-year warranty. Kill the bill, the energy bill that is. Imagine no more high energy bills, while all the while helping reduce your carbon footprint at no cost to you. It's a win-win. Yes, we now offer solar, but remember, if you need a new roof, siding, doors, windows, or interior remodeling, don't wait. Right now, Emmons is offering all 1210 listeners 10% off roofing, siding, and Anderson windows. And we are continuing to offer 12-month same-as cash financing. And don't forget that lifetime warranty on your roof. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 856-885-6677, emmonsroofing.com. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, kitchens, baths, and solar. Trust Emmons to be your first and last stop for all your home improvement needs. emmonsroofing.com.
Hitting the pool or just lounging around? Take us with you. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, always live on the free Odyssey app.
Loving you isn't the right thing to do. How can I ever change things that I feel? If I could,
It is Kayal and Company, 846. Happy Thursday to all of you out there. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Get us on the free Odyssey app. Check out the new show logo, show artwork, picture of the three of us. Nick Kayal, Mary Walters in for Dawn Stensland, Greg Stocker. Watch us on YouTube. And get us on social media at 1210 WPHT. Twitter, Instagram, you name it, we're out there. I think we have a Facebook. We don't really talk about Facebook. I guess that means like we're anti-Zuck on the show, which is fine.
We're not. We love all social media.
That's right.
There's just so much of it. We don't know what to... by the way, on the photo, Sid writes, Greg should put his neck down a bit. His entire neck is exposed. If Nancy Pelosi saw that, Greg is finished.
Please don't bother me with such frivolity, okay?
Right for the jugular vein.
Okay.
Just download the Odyssey app right now if you haven't done so yet. And comment on it. I'm just curious what you guys think.
John Doe by Choice on Twitter says, well done, Greg. Listening to Mary lose her chill has me in tears. Nick, Mary just said, holy crap.
Holy crap!
Like Darth Stocker. I see dueling sound bites on your outrage board to come. I didn't pick up on the holy crap part because you had such a good tangent that I was just enamored by the whole thing. It was great.
And he said that I lost my chili, it looks like.
Oh, chili.
Chili,
I thought that was chill. Well, I think, usually when you lose your chill or your cool, I never heard anybody saying they lost their chili.
Yeah, maybe it's a typo.
How do you like your chili, Mary? You put a lot of beans in your chili or you just go more meat and veggies?
More meat and veggies.
There you go. I agree. Too much gas from the beans. It's gassy enough. Anyway, it's a Nick Kayal problem. Anyway.
Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. That's what we do on this program. At least I do anyway, but that's just me.
At that point in the week, huh?
Yeah, well, it's a Thursday. We're coming up on hour 4, so you already know Friday's going to be a total cluster, but we look forward to that. Fridays are usually the best day of the week.
Are we doing bourbon instead of coffee on Friday morning? Tomorrow morning?
I mean, hey, you don't got to tell me twice. I'm always down.
I got nowhere to be.
I'm always down for the brown liquor.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we could absolutely do that. Stocker technically the only one that could not partake because I think the rules are that talent can drink on the air, but if you're running the board, you're not allowed to imbibe.
We're not going to do a drinking show tomorrow. I mean, Mary can drink all she wants to. She's not here. So.
Right. She can drink from her shed.
Yeah.
And she does the show.
Well, when you're a hostage, it's one of the few joys in life they give you.
So how about this? We round back to Trump for a couple of minutes here to wrap up the third hour of the show. So far, when we think about these indictments, we have Alvin Bragg in Manhattan. We have Mar-a-Lago in Florida. We have January 6th in Washington, D.C. And we have not had the perp walk with the mugshot. And again, to me, there's no benefit, there's no upside to a mugshot of the former president of the United States, certainly not one that should be released to the public, because to me, it's nothing more than a political message. It's an ad campaign. It becomes a meme, a GIF, a Vine on social media. Well, Fulton County's sheriff says, we'll have a mugshot if former President Trump is indicted locally. This story from WSB-TV in Atlanta. Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labatt says his office is preparing for the possibility of former President Trump to be indicted in Fulton County, which is the big county right in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia. He says that if indicted by a grand jury, the former president will be treated like anyone else accused of a crime, including fingerprints and a mugshot. Quote, unless somebody tells me differently, we are following our normal practices, and so it doesn't matter your status. We'll have a mugshot ready for you. He told Channel 2's Richard Elliott that on Tuesday. They also orange security barricades that were put up outside the Fulton County Courthouse last week. So, I've been on record as saying I think this is probably going to be something that happens around Labor Day. But if they're putting up barriers as of last week, I'm wondering how quickly that this one will be coming. I mean, we might get into next week and then we start to hear and see, the writing on the wall when it comes to Fulton County and indictment number 4. But Mary, your thoughts on the mugshot to me, because to me that's just like a snapshot image, literally. But from a political standpoint, that's the only value it serves. I don't believe Trump deserves to be mugshotted for any of this.
Well, I don't think he does. But when it was in New York where he went into the courtroom, and he apparently told them that he wanted to be handcuffed. He wanted the American people to see the visual
So it cuts
of
both
him
ways
being
then.
handcuffed and what they were doing to him.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't think Trump will argue with this. If they want him, mugshotted and everything else, I think he goes for it. He's a marketing genius.
That's true.
It would
Right?
it would be the best thing that ever happened to him if he got a mugshot.
Exactly.
He could play the victim card then.
It would go out and he could make shirts out of it. He could make hats out of it.
Yeah.
It would be everywhere.
So both sides could really use it from like a campaign message standpoint, if you think about it.
Think it backfires on the Democrats.
I agree with
really?
Mary. I agree with you 100%. Yes.
Wow.
Yep. It would backfire on the Democrats. Could you see flags? Trump 2024. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like it would be the greatest thing. Like, they are giving him. I understand why they're doing it or why they want to do it, but boy, they're giving him just.
I just feel like the average Trump hater out there that doesn't pay attention to the news, that is oblivious to some of the Biden stuff and only follows the Trump stuff. They see Trump, with the mugshot. That just further validates their belief of, we need to lock this criminal up, put him away. I'm not voting for him anyway.
Yeah, they're not voting for him anyway. Just like
True.
you said, they're not voting for him anyway. So he doesn't care. But he knows that there is a section in this. There's a portion of independents to maybe people who sat it out last time around, who didn't vote for him last time around because they don't like the way he talks or something along those lines. Superficial stuff. The number of people who won't vote for someone because they don't like their personality is just mind-boggling to me. But those people are open to, okay, this is wrong. And what was the survey we talked about? Something like 70% of Americans feel that this is politically motivated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So by making hay of it and by really putting it out there, I think he sways some people over to his side that this is wrong.
Well, it's funny you bring up the word personality, which is fascinating because we have so many people that are exhausted by the drama of politics, and they're fatigued by Biden. They're fatigued by Trump. And yet then they kind of say, well, they're like, well, I just get the kitchen table issues under control. Win me over with policy. I don't care if politics are boring. I care about my everyday life. Yet then they'll sit there and say, I can't vote for that person because of their personality. Like, that's the thing. That's what's working against DeSantis. DeSantis is a policy champion. On paper, he's crushing it. But people don't like the personality or the lack thereof personality. So my thing is then you can't have it both ways. You can't say I want to have the guy with personality, but I'm sick of the drama. And then also conversely say, yeah, I don't like his person. He might be good. He might be great on policy, but he doesn't move the needle for me with personality. You can't have it both ways.
Well, see, now I don't think they're trying to have it both ways. What I think I want somebody like Obama. I want somebody I could go have a beer with. So to me, people always say they want the truth. I want a politician who's not going to lie to me. I want a politician who tells me the truth. Then when you get a politician who tells you the truth, you complain because he's mean.
Right. And then your feelings are hurt and there's mean tweets.
Right. So
Yeah.
I always equate it to dating. Like, women say, I just want a man who's honest. I just want a guy who's not playing games.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the night, when he looks at her and says, yeah, I'm not calling you tomorrow. I didn't have a great time.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
I want a man who will love me and treat me like a queen. Hey, you know what? You're moving too fast. You're too obsessed with me. I can't have that.
They'd rather have him they'd rather say, oh, I really had a great time. I'll call you. We'll do this again next week. And then they sit there and wait for the phone to ring. And because he was so nice. I don't understand it. He was so nice. They prefer that over the guy who goes, yeah, not feeling it.
Yeah.
People are insane.
I know. We call that the Lizzo effect. It's where you're very hypocritical.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with weight with women. I'm just talking about, saying one thing and doing the exact opposite. And, with these mugshots and all the hoopla that goes around these indictments and these perp walks, I think Atlanta will be another media fiasco.
Of course.
Think about with Bragg in New York and then at Mar-a-Lago, CNN will be camped out. There will be a camera zoomed in on a doorway with an entrance, and for 40 minutes straight, you're going to have people going commercial free on networks, these hosts just talking in circles, and all we're going to do is see some fat security guard with a mustache on camera for 40 straight minutes standing by the door. And then Trump will come through, he'll disappear in 8 seconds later, and then they'll go back to their live play-by-play coverage. All right, so Donald Trump is just gotten out of the motorcade, and he's walked past Joe Willis, who's in his 42nd year as a security guard at Fulton County Courthouse. And so what does this mean for the former president? I watch it because it's my job, but that is some of the worst media coverage ever, where these people are just trying to paint the picture of nothing happening for you on your television. It's painful, Mary.
It is, but I bet you they're all clamoring for the job because I want to be the one who reported that Donald Trump is going to jail.
Right. Let's check back in with Manu Raju for the 8th time in 22 minutes. Manu, what do you have for us?
We've all been there, right? Being in this business, we've all been there where you're waiting for someone to come to the podium. We're waiting because you're going to do cut into your broadcast live with a press conference or whatever. We've all been there trying to do that tap dance because here they come. Oh, nope, it's just the sound guy. Never mind, and then you got to go back. So. It's part of the job.
Let's just go to Jackie Heinrich. Jackie, what's going on? Give us the latest. Well, Donald Trump just came out of the bathroom. He did not use the hand wash and the paper towels. He went with the hand sanitizer and the gel. Back to you, Bob. It's just so terrible.
It's always a Bob, too. Back to you, Bob.
Yeah, it is. Back to you, Bob. So that's the latest. Fulton County Court and their sheriff saying we will have a mugshot. I'll believe it when I see it because he does say, unless somebody tells me differently, I got a feeling that there will be people in his ears saying, that's not going to be taking place today, which could very well come down to the district attorney, Fannie Willis, who has previously said that she will announce charging decisions later this month.
She is such a drama queen. This chick has been talking about this since May.
Hey, that's sexist. You called her a chick.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
she is such a drama queen. She is so angling for a higher calling. She wants all eyes on Georgia. She said, well, I'm taking 2 weeks off in August. All right, then shut up till August.
Yeah. What is she, 2 weeks off in August? She sounds like a radio host.
That's the only time we're allowed to take vacation.
Man.
And the week between Christmas and New Year's. That's the week.
All right. 855-839-1210. Coming up, final hour is on the way. A couple of stories with the Utes of today, including the new hires of 2023. Surprise, surprise. They're not ready to work.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. America, you are in great hands. God bless you. I hope I check out at 48. Hour 4, Kayal and Company, coming up next.
Is that aching pain in your shoulder or your hip or your back keeping you from living your life? Don't let them tell you steroids or surgery are your only option. Take my advice now. Call QC Kinetics. I recently had visited the QC Kinetics in King of Prussia. It's state-of-the-art, amazing doctors, amazing staff. Everything is all in-house, including the laboratory. Regenerative medicine uses concentrated healing agents from your own body, which then stimulate that damaged tissue in your joints, so they work like they're supposed to. Zero downtime. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting medical breakthrough, and patients are getting real, lasting relief. They're saying no to surgery. They're saying no to drugs. If you have pain due to injury or arthritis, it's remarkable. It's a great option that you need to check out. It's a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. QC Kinetics, would you just call them? 215-999-3000. Tell Dawn sent you.
You got the alert this morning. Now get the whole story. Count on NBC 10 News today.
It's more than just headlines. It's news to get you ready for your day.
If you need motivation, here we go. We've got your playbook.
The most accurate hour-by-hour weather forecasts.
Traffic info to get you there and back easier. It's all you need to get up, get ahead, and stay ahead.
Make your mornings count with NBC 10 News today. Count on it.
Lose weight and feel great with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into the radio show Sunday at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
So many listeners are enjoying beautiful, easy-to-maintain homes thanks to Rhino Shield, and you can too. Dom Giordano here with my good friend, the local owner of Rhino Shield. John, take it away.
John from Rhino Shield here, reminding you that when it comes to painting your home, there is a better way. We all know that traditional paint just doesn't last, and that's why painters only offer a 1-year guarantee. But Rhino Shield is different. Our elastomeric ceramic house paint is warranted for 25 years, so you'll never paint again. Don't spend your money on regular paint that just doesn't last. Invest instead in a product that will protect your home and look beautiful for years to come. Let Rhino Shield show you how you can be done with frequent painting. Call us today at 484-406-5111 for a free consultation, or find us online at www.myrhinoshield.com.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
Wells Fargo gives you access to direct deposit funds up to 2 days early.
Plus, if you look at the X and Y axes...
What if everything came 2 days early? Like the weekend.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise.
You can't get everything early, but when it comes to direct deposits, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getearly to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Not all direct deposits are eligible. Early availability is not guaranteed and may vary between deposits from the same payer. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital. Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Summer is the perfect time to call Kathy Ganna at New Hope Academy. Does your child or grandchild need more of a challenge? Now's the time to make that call to Kathy Ganna at New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope founder Kathy Ganna, pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed at New Hope Academy. There's a student-teacher ratio of 2-to-1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call now for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today, 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy now, 800-300-0003.
First-time homebuyers have a one-stop trusted partner with American Heritage Credit Union. With our first-time homebuyer program, you can earn up to a $500 lender credit. Our realtors can help you shop for your first home, and qualified borrowers can even receive up to $5,000 in first front door grants. To apply with one simple application, visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/FTH. All loans subject to credit approval, insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 433838.
Calling on Percy to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
Download it now.
Hey, mama said the way you move gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove.
Kayal and Company, 9:06. Fourth and final hour underway on this Thursday morning here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Nick, Mary, Greg, Daniel, and Anthony as we head till 10 o'clock this morning. Morning mystery movie clip in just about 13 minutes. Your opportunity once again to score a pair of tickets to the movie Sound of Freedom. What's on the cut sheet part 2 coming up as well. And a lot of good stories along the way. And people checking in with their, not only their show setup as how they watch us on YouTube, on whatever monitor or device or TV they're looking at, but also trying to jump in on like show logo branding.
Uh-oh.
And Newman Price, I just retweeted this if you want to see it, at Nick Kayal, Kayal. Newman Price says, how's this for a Kayal and Company promo image? And it says, it's got a picture and it says, always fresh. And it's got a box with produce in it with kale and carrots.
Right,
and
yeah.
it's got
it's-
Greg, and Dawn.
It's very creative, but I don't know.
It says always fresh, Kale and Company with a healthy serving of news and entertainment.
Very creative.
I do like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not feeling that though, huh?
I don't know.
It's a little play on my name and the vegetable.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. Not bad.
Go to Odyssey, odyssey.com, and download the Odyssey app and let us know what you think of the logo.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it.
No? Okay.
I mean, I created it, so I should. I should have. But I don't love it.
All right, there you have it. We got a lot of different things that I want to kick around here, but we got to get to this one because this is what I'm concerned about. And look, I technically am a millennial, but I've always felt, I love saying this, I identify more as a Gen Xer. I just feel like I have more in common. The way I go about my life, it screams Gen X.
Agreed. I, as a Gen Xer, which I am,
You would agree with this?
I would agree with you.
Okay. So when I see some of the way the millennials act these days, it kind of bothers me a little bit because I don't act that way for the most part. And I certainly don't really connect with the Gen Z mindset. So this story, Mary, is from the Wall Street Journal, and it's called How Do I Do That? The New Hires of 2023 and Being Unprepared for Work. I just want to give you 2 or 3 little paragraphs here, and we'll have a conversation on this. Roman DiVincenzo, not to be confused with Anthony Dorenzo, was consulting for a robotics company in Silicon Valley last fall when he asked a newly minted mechanical engineer to design a small aluminum part that could be fabricated on a lathe, a skill normally mastered in the first or second year of college. He responded and asked, how do I do that? Said the young man. So DiVincenzo, an engineer who has built technology for NASA and Google and who charges consulting clients a minimum of $300 an hour, spent the next 3 hours teaching Lathwork 101. You learn by doing, he said. Quote, these kids in school during the pandemic, all they've done is work on computers, end quote. The knock-on effect of years of remote learning from the pandemic is gumming up workplaces around the country. It is one reason professional service jobs are going unfilled and goods aren't making it to the market. It also helps explain why national productivity has fallen for the past 5 quarters, the longest contraction since at least 1948, that according to the U.S. Labor Department. They go on to say the shortcomings run the gamut from general knowledge, including how to make change at a register, to soft skills such as working with others. Employers are spending more time and resources searching for candidates and often lowering expectations when they hire than they are spending millions to fix new employees' lack of basic skills. Mary, this is, I think, a major problem, and I see this in my little time that I'm around other human beings, where I go into a retail establishment or a big box store, and you ask for customer service, and the most basic questions they can't answer. They don't have the answer to. They don't want to interact with you. They act as if that you're inconveniencing them as the patron in this customer service industry, much less some of these real highly skilled fields, many of which are in Silicon Valley. It just feels like today that, and I've said this before on many other subjects in this ilk of conversation we're having, this device I'm holding in my hand right now, this Apple smartphone, this iPhone, I think the smartphone has made Americans stupid.
Oh, it absolutely has made Americans stupid. Oh my gosh. How many people know how to get home if they go somewhere, if their Wi-Fi goes down, or they don't have internet, and they can't put Waze or Google Maps on their phone. They don't know how to get home. Right. They don't know where they live.
You don't need to know anything because you can just duck go it. You don't need to have communication skills face to face and be able to look somebody in their eyes and then have them talk and you listen and look at them in the eyes, because nowadays everybody texts or they post on social media or they Snapchat or whatever they use. And then even within the texting world, everything is abbreviated. Everything is LMAO, TBH, IDYK. Like you need a little pocket translator to figure out what the hell people are talking about.
Yeah. So if you're a parent and you know this and you see it, then you should, as a parent, intervene to counteract it. For instance, I don't have kids, but my brother has 3 daughters, and he and his wife had set rules in their house. It's not easy raising kids with all this stuff. I get it. It's harder. But, they had no phones, no TV at the dinner table.
Yeah, as it should be.
That was it.
As it
and
should be.
They played games, like they had cards on the table to spur conversation, that type of stuff. They had to talk every day about how was your day at school, what did you learn, this, and you couldn't give like the simple yes, fine answers.
Yeah.
At night, each kid had to turn in their cell phone to my brother, and they had to have the passwords to the parents had the passwords to everything. And the girls never knew if they were going to look at their phones or not. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't.
Right.
Maybe they look at their messages. Maybe they wouldn't. Maybe they'd do your search history. One TV in the house.
Yep.
That was it. The kids did not have TVs in their rooms.
It's also fascinating, too, because I know Greg has had this belief, and I'm on board with it as well, about college versus trade schools.
Yeah.
And I feel like and like I've never been to a trade school, but I got to imagine if you go to a trade school and you complete the work and you get the degree or the certificate or whatever they use to validate that you're ready to work, these people are ready to hit the ground running in their chosen profession.
Absolutely. 18, you start a trade.
Yeah.
And you start doing it. You can, well, everybody's getting out of college and they're in debt by $500,000. You're making 70, 80 grand while everybody else is making 30 and have to pay off that 500 grand in debt that they have for going to some stupid college.
But even for forgetting the debt and the financing, from a functionality standpoint, it just feels like when you get out of college and you have your degree in whatever it might be, you might be knowledgeable of the curriculum that you supposedly mastered, but can you put it into practice right away? Or is that first year you're completely clueless how to actually function in that field? That seems to me to be the major issue. And the other thing to me with the new hires, and this is not even a new hire thing, but this is a workplace thing. I had a couple of bosses. One of my bosses when I was in Nashville, he was hands down the most awkward guy to communicate with face to face. We used to have these meetings, and he would be at his desk, and he'd take his glasses off as he's talking to me and start like wiping them down with the rag. And then as like I'm talking, and he couldn't listen to me, and he couldn't look at me. He'd start hiking up his dress socks at his desk, and he's like fidgeting. I'm like, can we just like focus on what's going on here? Like, are you really this uncomfortable with this setting? I don't get it. I mean, I'm a very socially outgoing person, so when I'm around people like that, I'm like, this guy seems like he doesn't really know what he's doing here. And he seems a bit uneasy over basic human interaction, Mary. And I really do think it goes back to the smartphone.
Oh, I've been on the beach with, a group of 16-year-old girls, which, by the way, is a very humbling experience. And they're all sitting there. Everybody's silent, but they're all on their phones because they're all Snapchatting each other and texting each other. They don't talk. But I think there's a way for parents to walk that line, and you allow them to have their phones, you allow them to do certain things, but then you also force other interaction with them.
Well, and also, how many times do you go out for like a family gathering? Like, let's say it's the holiday, it's December 20th, and you go and there's 12 of you guys at a restaurant for whatever. It's amazing how many people are all sitting there, and they've all got their phones out. And they're all having like a text conversation or scrolling and swiping. It's like, wait, no, we got together to socialize, not to continue what we were doing separately at home.
Should Should we let the two Gen Zs on the show defend their generation?
You know, I'm going to take this under advisement. Let me think about this.
Oh boy.
No. Get the mystery clip ready.
No, come on.
It's
only fair.
Open mics all the time. You know that.
Daniel Anthony, defend your generation.
Go ahead.
Go.
D'Anthony.
All right, cool.
You let me run the stream. So.
See, we want to bring Gen Z in for a word, and they've got nothing to say.
No, it's true. Daniel said we let him run the stream.
That's true.
He's controlling.
Yeah,
he's controlling it.
Valdez is one of these guys. I think Valdez was a big part of this show while he was still in college.
Yep.
So the not being ready to work and the how do I do that new hires of 2023 that does not apply to Valdez. Valdez is ready. Dorenzo's a different question.
Dorenzo, he's calling into question your work ethic.
See, he's not ready to go. Your Honor, yes, I moved to strike.
Is paying attention to the show part of their work? Is their job description at all?
To be fair, Anthony is prepping for the 10 a.m.
That's
show.
true.
So he's
okay.
Yes. Of that.
Okay.
So
yes. Yeah, moving forward, focus is optional on Kayal and Company. For the hosts, the producers, the audience, we'll just all patch it together as we move along.
Well, maybe that's on us. Maybe it's on us that we're not doing a good job of keeping them interested in what we're talking about.
I know. Although the numbers wouldn't say otherwise.
Well,
but.
that's joking. It's true.
But no, I thought this was a fascinating story because it just feels to me that when these people get ready to go into the workforce, and look, I'll be honest, when I first got out of college, because I didn't major in this, I didn't go to school for broadcasting, journalism, or communications. I went to school for criminal justice and pre-law, and had a change of heart my junior year of college. You know, I thought I was ready. I thought I knew what it would take to do a good radio show right at 22. And when I got hired, and I was a $7 an hour board op, I felt like I could get on the air right away. But now going back and thinking about it, I was completely overmatched at the time. I wasn't ready for it. So I'm not trying to kill all of Gen Z, but I do feel like this is more prevalent today, Mary, than it would have been 15, 20, 30 years ago.
I think every generation looks back, at the ones coming up behind them and has my feeling like, thank God I'll be dead by the time you're in power. The generation that can't make change. They can't read cursive. They can't read a clock, right? They can't do any of that.
Let me defend Gen Z for a second, since these guys are doing a terrible job of defending
themselves,
their own generation. I have some of the best hires I've made: Daniel Valdez, Anthony Dorenzo, Matt DeSantis, Henry Machette. They're all producing major morning shows, afternoon shows,
in big markets.
Like in big markets, they do fabulous work.
Yeah.
So I have no ill will or no concern about the future. I do think that it's just, we're coming from different places, and we need to just know how to interact with them more than we should.
But
I mean?
There are moments where they make mistakes, and it leads to things like this.
Can we check our work, please, before we put it on the air and save it?
Right.
Okay.
I just want to know, Greg, if you write them a note in cursive, can they read it?
I don't know if I could read it.
I was just watching something yesterday where they put people, I forget what show it was, where they put the talent on the spot and they had to write a sentence in cursive.
That was on the 5.
Was that the 5? So, okay, yeah, and I think that might have been last week then. I knew I've seen something like that. I got to tell you, there's a lot of letters I can't remember how to write in cursive. Like, try doing it during the break.
Don't you sign your name in cursive?
That's what I just scribble NK.
Okay.
I don't really make it look nice.
Yeah.
But I can still do my name. But there's a few letters that when I was looking at the cursive alphabet, I'm like, I don't think my hand can operate like that.
I had to get something notarized last week,
Uh-huh.
and I went in, and the person who was doing the notary, very nice woman, I was signing my name, and she looks at it, she goes, "You have atrocious handwriting." And I said, "Yes, I do."
Yeah.
And I said, "And I appreciate you saying that."
Yeah.
I have atrocious handwriting.
And from a handwriting standpoint too, I use all capital letters.
What? I hate that.
I don't write.
Hate it.
I don't write in low. Even so, what's the opposite of cursive? Is it? I think
printing.
Is it printing? I was going to say manuscript.
Dude.
Well, whatever the opposite of cursive is.
Printing. It's the only other option.
Printing. Okay, yeah.
It's Sanskrit.
That's right.
It's the only other
you're
option.
Right. Yeah, print your name. Okay, that makes sense. I use all capital letters. I don't write N
so
and then
annoying.
lowercase ICK.
It's so annoying.
I also use all caps.
Yeah.
It's shouting. Stop shouting at me.
Yeah.
Mean tweets, capital letters. I can't
You type in all capital as well?
Yes, I do.
Which, so when the misspellings come through, they're just screaming at me.
Right. I'm trying to advertise my shortcomings.
You mean for his big take? He does.
Yes, for the big take. Yeah, I'm like, stop. Why is he shouting?
All caps and 16 font.
And 16 font.
Bold. Yeah.
Is that so you can see it because you're going blind?
No, it's just I don't have a teleprompter, so I'm doing it here, on the low budget. So I go big letters.
Your radio host wouldn't need to read it.
I used to not type up my my opening monologue in sports, but I figured that this requires a little more detail. So
no, I appreciate that. I had hosts that would come in and wing it, and
right.
I don't love that.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
I'm glad you actually take some time to prep.
There you go.
Is this a bad time to tell you, Greg, that I don't write out an opening monologue? I just do it.
No,
As
whatever
Nike
works.
once said, just do
Okay,
it.
well, no, because you said just wing it, and I was like, oh, is this a bad time to tell him?
Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you.
When you're in for Rich in 2 weeks, you do whatever the hell you want.
Will I get a review on the morning show the next day? Was this what's going to happen?
You might. You might.
There you go. Yeah, we should do like a segment. We'll grade Mary on Zioli's show. We'll play like a 3-minute montage, and then we'll break down the tape. It'd be a good bit.
Old Man Dudley on the YouTube chat. By the way, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. If you're watching right now, please hit the like button.
Yeah.
Old Man Dudley wants to know, do Gen Xers know how to write a check?
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't think so.
No. Do they have? I mean, I don't even know if some of them have debit cards now. They have like the Apple Wallet thing that they use, where they
You
just
can
pay on their phone.
You can just literally swipe.
Yeah.
It. The thing. It's
You lose your phone, you're dead today, basically.
They have no concept, though, of what happens. Look, when Hurricane Sandy hit and we had no power and no internet for over 2 weeks, you had to be able to write a check.
I know.
Yeah.
Right? So they have no concept. They also don't realize that every single one of their transactions is being tracked.
Yep.
So they don't care. They have no fear of the government just tracking everything you do. As banks institute, not to get into the weeds here, but as banks institute these social credit scores that they're all doing individually, we don't want to deal with you because you bought a firearm. How do you know I bought a firearm?
Yep.
Well, here's the credit card
Here's your
transaction.
Bank of America statement.
Yeah.
They know this stuff. They don't have a care. And when I don't think that they're going to wise up to it until it starts to happen to them. And then they're going to be like, oh, so the government knows everything I've bought.
Right.
They're, and then they try to account for every dime that comes into your checking, into your accounts, and how much is going out. And you're paying for this and for that. That's when I think it starts to click. Wow, I probably should have learned how to write a check, or maybe cash is my friend. I should know what it's worth and how to use the different denominations.
Dorenzo just checked back in. He says, "I was in the bathroom. Sorry."
Oh, come on.
Yeah, so.
I thought
he was streaming us on the toilet.
I was gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and say you were prepping for who's in today? Luke Pate. Like I thought maybe you were doing that.
No,
I've been doing that as well.
Okay.
Well, he's got the morning mystery movie clip to us. That's what matters.
I was gonna say, do we feel like it's easier than it was yesterday?
Oh my God, this is one of my favorites, so I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
But it's just because I know the movie. So let's see if the audience knows with our morning mystery movie clip.
And now, the morning mystery movie clip on Kayal and Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, nice to see you. Can I help you, gentlemen?
Yeah, I'm gonna need black, 42 long, and nothing touches this body but pure silk. And get my partner something from the kids department.
Okay, would your partner like to be wrapped in silk as well? Some people think it's tacky, but I really enjoy it when couples dress alike.
No, wait a minute, no. This ain't no couple thing, man. We police officers working a very dangerous case and we need some clothes.
Yes, there are a lot of men chasing us. As well they should be. Listen, you have nothing to worry about, okay? Because I'm gonna turn you two into the belle of the ball. Thank you. Absolutely. Let's start with you, shall we? You got the mochaccino face, wonderful skin, and the big broad shoulders, okay? Let's put a dead animal on you. Croc skin, buttercream, croc skin, buttercream. What size is the waist? Let's go in. I wanna-
Hey! Watch your sweetness.
Think you know what it is? Be call at 12 at 855-839-1210, and you could win this great prize.
The great prize, another pair of tickets to see the movie Sound of Freedom. If you can identify that movie, it came out 22 years ago today, August 3rd, 2021. And it was the second installment of the series.
I think you got that wrong. 2021?
2001, I'm sorry.
2001.
Yeah, 22 years ago, 2001. Yep, August 3rd, 2001. 855-839-1210. If you can identify that morning mystery movie clip. But right now, you need to identify the premier auto group in the Delaware Valley, and that is, of course, the Piazza Auto Group. I mean, guys, gals, think about this. 17 brands, 35 locations. What other auto group or dealership can tout that? And by the way, the service, phenomenal. The family atmosphere, tremendous. And I am excited to be now in almost month number 4 of my 2023 Honda Ridgeline truck that I got courtesy of the great people at the Piazza Honda in Springfield. But if that location doesn't work for you, like I mentioned, they have 34 other ones, Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, or Reading, to take advantage of 0.9% APR financing. Or if you're not in the market for a truck, and not everybody needs a truck or likes a truck, how about a Honda Civic, Honda Accord, award-winning Honda Accord, by the way, CR-V, Pilot, and more. The Piazza Auto Group, 17 brands, 35 locations. It should be and is your go-to for all things automotive. For myself, for Dawn Stensland. And if you're in the market for a vehicle, check them out online today. Certified or pre-owned, it doesn't matter. New. They got something for everybody's budget. PiazzaAutoGroup.com. Check them out today.
Corporate events, private parties, kick your next event up a notch. Hire comedian Joe Conklin to entertain your guests.
Hey, this is Dr. Charles Langman, and we hired Joe for a kickoff for our fundraiser, and he was just awesome. Knocked people's socks off.
I hired Joe to be the entertainment for the Liberty USO. The crowd went wild.
I definitely recommend Joe to anybody that wants to make a great impression with their customers.
Hire Joe Conklin now for corporate events and private parties. Go to JoeConklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Attention taxpayers, ready for some bad news? With $80 billion in new funding from Congress, the IRS has launched their most aggressive hiring campaign ever to ramp up enforcement. If you're ignoring your taxes, don't delay another minute because your paycheck, your bank account, even your home or business could already be at risk. Now, here's the good news. Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm, can get to work immediately, helping to protect you from the IRS. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their tax attorneys and licensed professionals are experts at resolving tax problems. Let them help determine if you qualify for the Fresh Start Initiative or other powerful IRS tax assistance programs. Take control. Call Optima Tax Relief now for a free consultation.
Call 800-956-4775. 800-956-4775. 800-956-4775.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, this is Howard Eskin, and Tasty Cake believes it's what's on the inside that counts, but a sweet new wardrobe, well, that doesn't hurt. Your favorite Tasty Cake treats like butterscotch crimpets, candy cakes, pecan swirls, and more are now in new packaging. That's right, new look. Same tasty treats for the best midsummer pick-me-up. Grab yourself a Tasty Cake treat today, because the only thing better than what's on the outside is what's on the inside. Tasty Cake, except no substitutes.
For all of you who love to cook Italian, here's a mouth-watering message from Cento.
Baked lasagna, manicotti, clam sauce with linguine, chicken parmigiana, and tuna capellini, gnocchi alla rosa sauce, pomodoro frittata, pappardelle, perciatelli, pasta caponata.
How do you give those dishes authentic old world flavor? Authentic Italian cooking begins with Cento. Cento for taste that sings. Cento. Trust your family with our family.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together millions of things for our planet. Some summer items should not be mixed in with your curbside recycling. Items like garden hoses, plastic planters, pool toys, squirt guns, and lawn chairs are generally not recyclable and are best donated to charity. If you have a question as to whether an item can be recycled, look at the recycling triangle and number, usually on the bottom of the product. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Hire with minimal effort and max speed with Indeed. Their hiring solution platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates efficiently. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
I am Judith Krupnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. As the store's owner, I want our clients treated with respect. I want our employees to have extensive product knowledge and be genuinely engaged with our clients. Our pricing is competitive, but our client attention is second to none. When considering a new car, consider Cherry Hill Volvo. Contact me directly. Relationships really do matter to us.
Free speech lives here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And on the free Odyssey app.
It's Kayal and Company, 9:31, rolling on live Thursday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. You can get us on the free Odyssey app. Watch us live on YouTube. What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2 coming up in just about 6 minutes. Also, what's coming up for the Lou Pate Show in for Dawn this morning. And who on Twitter today? All right, let's see. We've got Stephen in media, who I think has identified that movie clip. Stephen, I thought it was a pretty easy one this morning. What clip did we just play for you, sir?
Rush Hour 2.
That is correct. Chris Tucker, Jackie Chan, Rush Hour number 2. It's on TNT 87 times a year. Congratulations. You got yourself the tickets to see Sound of Freedom.
Thank you.
You are welcome. We appreciate you playing, and thank you for listening, Stephen in media. Yeah, the first two were pretty good. The third one I was checked out on. As some of these movies, they try to squeeze out and extract every juice from the lemon. It starts to wear on you a little bit. But Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker, I believe the second one was it was at least based in fantasy world and in China the second time around. Are you a Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker Rush Hour fan, Mary?
Who?
Yeah, Jackie Chan, that guy.
No,
yeah.
clearly
Chris
not.
Tucker, the guy I say is less funny than Chris Rock, but he had a couple of flicks and was able to cash some checks. So nice.
I have to tell you, I've honestly never heard of Chris Tucker.
Really?
You've never heard of Chris Tucker?
Friday?
Sorry.
You ever seen the movie Friday?
Friday?
No, I don't think so.
About Thursday.
I may have seen Monday and then punched out of the series.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
That's what people do during holiday weeks now. They punch out early.
I'm going to say something very controversial.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
Friday, one of the greatest movies ever.
I'm not going to give you a lot of pushback on that. It's up there.
For a kid of my generation, when that came out in 1995 or whatever like that.
Yeah.
It was a... pot smoker's anthem.
An American buddy comedy.
Exactly.
There you go.
Ice Cube. Yeah. Come on.
Exactly
it's
right.
a great movie.
Go ahead, Mary. You were going to say something?
No, I was going to say no. It's I guess it's your equivalent of Dazed and Confused. That movie.
Well, that's also a very underrated great movie. Yes.
Yeah, it's a great movie. That one I like.
Yeah. So this is taking a little peek into how my my high school career went by the movies by the movies that I like. Dazed and Confused, Friday.
Yeah. Yes.
Just saying.
Stalker was he was skipping
Half
class
baked.
and smoking doobies out in the parking lot.
Half baked.
Come on. Well, we had Jim Brewer on the show.
We did, yeah.
We should try to get Jim back on again, I think.
Yeah, he only seems to want to come on when he wants to promote
that's how everybody is, right?
His upcoming comedy shows.
I mean, Mary's only on the Promoter podcast and her Newsmax hits.
By the way, follow me on Twitter at Mary Walter Radio, and the podcast is live on YouTube and Getter. Just look for Mary Walter Radio or the audio on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Mary Walter Radio. Thank you.
She's done that a time or two before. She's got the script nailed.
That's what she's doing.
You got all the talking points. You're like a Democrat in the media talking about COVID.
No, I'm like someone trying to whore free promo time.
All right, last story of the day. So this is a fun one from the New York Post. A man is suing Buffalo Wild Wings, who says that the company doesn't give a bleep about his boneless wings complaint. So if you don't know the backstory to this, back earlier in this year, a man tried to file a lawsuit that Buffalo Wild Wings, with their boneless wings, are not actually wings. He claims they are just chicken nuggets, which they are somewhere in between a chicken nugget and a chicken tender. To me, if there's no bone in it, you want to call them boneless, you're not wrong. And I am not one of these like macho guys that says I always have to have bone in wings. Sometimes you don't want to get all sloppy and a mess and you go boneless, and maybe you even use a fork from time to time with these boneless wings. But this man, Buffalo Wild Wings, is actually tweeting out out and posting Instagrams and things like that explaining that people couldn't care less about this. And this guy who filed the lawsuit. What?
Lawsuit?
Yes, he has filed. His name is Ayman Halim. Ayman Halim's lawsuit against Buffalo Wild Wings for claiming that they are not wings. Mary, I don't know about you, but if there's no wing in it, it's by definition, it's boneless. Excuse me, no wing in it. If there's no bone in it, it is boneless. But I have no issue with the guy or the gal that decides to go boneless. And I'm certainly not going to be filing a lawsuit. I mean, this is where our lawyers make so much money. But this is where we got to stop the frivolous stuff of all the nonsense. I'm going to sue. I'm angry, so I'm going to sue. No, you're not.
This guy's either after fame or fortune, obviously. We need the law that they have in, because we want to be just like Europe, right? We're like a third world country when it comes to lawsuits. Mm-hmm. We need to do what everybody else does, and loser pays.
Yes.
So if lawyers would be way more careful about the cases that they take, number one. Mm-hmm. And number two, people wouldn't be suing for something dumb like that. If you don't like it and you think it's a chicken nugget, don't eat it.
That's correct.
Don't order it. Yes. I don't know. Maybe don't go to Buffalo Wild Wings if you think that it's false advertising. Because apparently there's no place else you can get buffalo wings.
Right. And this is the thing I don't understand. Like, I've told people this in my radio career or on social media. Like, people follow me and they tweet me, you're such an idiot and I disagree with that. Like, dude, then don't follow me. Click the unfollow button. I'm not forcing you to follow me. I'm not forcing you to listen to my radio show or watch on YouTube.
Lord.
This is, let me just give you a little back story on this. So this was filed back in March. Ayman of Chicago filed the lawsuit against Buffalo Wild Wings over claims of, quote, false and deceptive marketing and advertising when it came to the boneless wings, which he said are derived from chicken breast and not chicken wing meat. So he's at least trying to be technical and try to say that, hey, if you're gonna sell boneless wings, it needs to be the juicier dark wing meat, not the white breast meat. Which, if you ever get a chicken tender or a chicken nugget that is actually not made up of processed like rib meat, it comes from the breast, because that's what you lose with the bone is the juice, the flavor, the whole bit. So you got to make it a little bit better. So that's why they go with the breast meat in the nugget for the boneless.
I love the way they're fighting back about this. They tweeted out, it's true. Our boneless wings are all white meat chicken. Uh-huh. Our hamburgers contain no ham. Our buffalo wings are 0% buffalo.
They're trolling the guy, and he's getting even more angry about it, which I absolutely love. So.
But what would a boneless, if it was truly a boneless chicken, it'd just be like a floppy little pile of like nothingness, right?
Correct. And again, like, I'm not anti-boneless wing guy. Like, I'll get boneless hot wings. I have an issue with a grown-up dipping his chicken wings in ranch. I've long maintained the belief that ranch is a condiment for children, and adults dip their wings. If they're going to dip it in anything beyond hot sauce or a dry rub, you go blue cheese.
Of course, blue cheese.
Okay, so you're team blue cheese.
Yes.
All right. You want to promote your podcast? You've earned an extra plug.
Mary Walter Radio on YouTube and Google Live. YouTube and I'll see you. Screw me up. YouTube and Get Her Live. Look for Mary Walter Radio and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
All right. We keep staying on the same page, Mary. You can plug away all day. We got Friday's show coming up. All right. 9:39. That'll do it for some of the stories of the day as we get to a very anticipated What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2.
What's on the Cut Sheet?
Part 2. What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2 is sponsored by the Millville Army Airfield Museum. Mary was just telling me yesterday or the day before that they have, a great restaurant there or something?
They do. I think it's called Verna's.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. It's fun. The problem is a lot of people know about it.
Oh.
So if you fly in and want to go there and get something to eat or, the secret's out about it. But it's good.
How are their wings?
Boneless? I don't know.
So you can help honor World War II aviation heritage at Millville Army Airfield in New Jersey, America's first defense airport and gunnery school for P-47 Thunderbolt fighter pilots. Admission is free. Schedule a group tour online at p47millville.org. That's p47millville.org and become a member now. I didn't know where to start, but I think I'm going to start here. So with the we don't know. In the Trump indictment, Trump is the only one named. We have co-conspirator 1, right?
Yep.
And you can kind of guess from the description who they were. Everybody is assuming that co-conspirator 1 is Rudy Giuliani. Co-conspirator 2 is alleged to be John Eastman, who was the Trump attorney. Well, Trump's attorney's attorney, you follow me here?
Yeah.
Trump's attorney's attorney was on CNN, and he's actually arguing that Trump was relying on the legal advice from his client.
Okay.
So this is going to be the defense, which is kind of an odd defense here, because if you're trying to defend your client, you're saying
so
that
I represent the lawyer that advised Trump to say X.
And he's saying that Trump was just basically listening to the legal advice from my client. Now, these guys aren't, forgive me if I'm wrong, I'm not a lawyer, but these guys aren't on trial, right? Because they're not named. They're co-conspirator. Donald Trump is the only one named in this indictment, right?
That's
they
what I
could be named at a later date, though.
Okay.
And what, asked to testify or have charges brought
who knows?
against?
They could probably, I would assume, be indicted coming down the road.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. So this was his defense to a very stunned CNN report. I think this is the popster, Poppy Harlow, on this morning, CNN this morning.
I expected the Trump to rely on the advice of counsel, and the advice of counsel in this case was perfectly legal.
So you have no problem, and you don't view this as throwing your client under the bus at all, despite these repeated pointings at your client.
Correct.
Okay.
My client was the attorney for Trump. Trump is entitled to rely on the advice of the attorney. It was lawful advice. I have no problem with that.
Let me ask you about a few.
Wow.
So this is John Eastman's attorney, who looks like he just rolled out of a dumpster and sounds like he doesn't even know what day it is. You know, the amount of people that have law degrees, and I couldn't get through 3 months of law school, is remarkable. I just feel worse about my life every day the more I move forward in this world. He didn't really seem to have much to say, and you know, Poppy Harlow doesn't really seem to have much to say either. I'm sure that was a ratings bonanza.
Well, what he's saying, though, is we say, you know, first of all, he's supposedly really, really smart, this guy. His name is Harvey.
Silvergate or Silverglate?
Yes. What he's saying is that, and it's kind of very simplistic, the quote unquote co-conspirators are being named because they gave bad legal advice.
Yep.
I mean, what? Or how do you prove that they knew it was bad legal advice, and they're going after Trump for following the legal advice that his lawyers gave him?
Yeah. So doesn't this just really weaken the entire case for the federal government? I mean, if this is where we're at.
There you go. And that's why I think when I saw this and I was watching, he was also on, I want to say Fox last night as well. He was making the rounds. And I was listening to him, and it was just so simplistic, and then everybody just sits there and goes, oh. Like, what's the follow-up question to that?
Right. Yeah. Right. This guy's totally a derailer of a segment.
It was great.
Thanks.
I thought it was fantastic.
Have you guys been following the story? I don't know if we talked about it, Nick, on this show or not, about this. I don't know if he was a Marine or he was in the Army or something, but he defected to North Korea.
Yeah, Dawn had it in one of the news updates.
So apparently his name is Travis King.
Mm-hmm.
He just went AWOL one day, disappeared. They were on some bus tour somewhere. He left and went to North Korea.
Right.
His name is Travis King. His family is blaming his decision to cross the border into North Korea on racism.
Oh.
He's an African American.
I thought it might have been climate change, but it's usually one of the two.
Yeah, so this is from ABC Good Morning America this morning, I believe. Here's that report.
King's family says he was struggling prior to his disappearance. His uncle telling ABC News, Travis said he was experiencing racism during his military deployment to South Korea, and that after he spent time in jail, the messages King sent to his family no longer sounded like him.
After we hear about this fight and him going to jail, the messages became strange. I was like, you okay? And then he's telling me, no, they're trying to kill me. And then he just continued to send these songs, and and speaking to me, and he was saying things like, said they're racist. I don't know, it made me seem like something was going on with him. Like he was fearing for his life.
And his mother says she received a disturbing phone call in the middle of the night, sometime prior to Travis King crossing the border.
Like 3-something in the morning, I got a call from him. And I was half asleep, and he just called and he just screamed, "I'm not the Army soldier you want me to be. I'm not the Army soldier you want me to be." And he kept screaming that out loud. And then all of a sudden the phone hung up, and then they were taking him to the hospital.
King's family now searching for answers and trying to do anything they can to get him back.
So he's 23 years old in the United States military.
Yeah.
He is in South Korea, claims that there's racism, I'm assuming, in the military. He decides to go AWOL, leave South Korea, cross over the border into North Korea, where now he's been held captive? I mean,
yeah, I can't imagine his accommodations are super nice.
The racism was so bad, I decided to defect and look for Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
It's basically what he's doing here.
It is.
What?
So he's clearly not a good decision maker?
No.
No. And I'm sure that Joe Biden will trade, some high level, spy or something like that in order to get this guy back.
That's correct. But it depends on how he identifies.
Yeah.
If he identifies as anything but straight, he's got a great chance of being like
saying the U.S. military is racist. That's a key right there.
Oh, that's a good starting spot.
That's a good point.
That's a very good spot to be in.
This is why we need diversity, equity, and inclusion in the military.
I mean, obviously this is just my opinion, but from what his family was describing there, it seems like he had some sort of mental breakdown.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they're using the racism angle, though.
I think the left just preys on the mentally unstable.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I think you're right. Although which comes first, the chicken or the egg? You
true.
Believe the theories and you believe what they're telling you.
Yeah.
And that just makes it worse as a snowball. And they would say the same thing of the right.
Yeah.
So
I was in the military in 2002, and I thought it was racist. So I said, you know what? I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go join ISIS.
Well, aren't there people
racism.
who do that?
I was looking for I forget the guy that led ISIS for a while. I know we bombed him. He's dead.
Osama bin Laden.
No, that was the Taliban.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah. Whatever.
You're right there.
Khalid Sheikh Mohammed.
Khalid, yes. Yes.
It's not.
Why I'm here.
It's not who he meant. It's not who he meant, Mary.
Sounds good. It fits. It applies. If the shoe fits, wear it.
There's 12 minutes left of the show, and he's like, I need a nap.
I'm out.
I need a nap.
Yeah.
All right. This is a visual. Obviously, you can listen to it here too, but this is a pregnant woman who identifies as a man, saying that pregnancy is not womanly or feminine. It's not only a woman or feminine thing.
This is a biological female.
So this is a biological female, obviously, because she's pregnant.
Okay.
But she says she feels no womanly attachment to this like most women do because she's a guy.
Okay.
You have to see the video, too. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT to check it out. Here we go. Cut 4, Daniel.
If I am transitioning, why am I pregnant when that's such a woman thing to do?
You see
I would, first of all, like to say that it is free for me. Because one person asked why I don't do, surrogacy. I feel like I'm doing surrogacy for myself. It's free for me.
Yeah.
If I have the parts, I'm a dad, y'all. I'm about to have my 3rd child. If I have it, I'm going to get my use out of it. So I am going to grow the baby myself. I have it. I'm going to get my use out of it. And then I'm going to get it cut out. I have these. I'm going to get my use out of them. When they're done, gone. Pregnancy is not feminine for me. It's not like a woman thing for me because I'm not a woman. And when I'm pregnant, I'm still not a woman.
No, you are. By the way, Mary, I'll let you talk about this. This is a female thing, but just take note for those who are watching. The nose ring is present, so that's usually the dead giveaway.
Of course. The hair's not purple, though.
No purple hair.
So there is that. You were just speaking about mental health issues?
Yeah.
There we go.
It's a transition, right?
I just, I have the parts that allow me to grow a baby. Because you're a woman. That's why you got the parts.
I have the parts that allow me to grow a baby.
I have the parts.
Like women have.
Great.
Welcome to AutoZone. We have the parts.
Yeah. Yeah. But then once I'm done with this, I'm having them cut out.
Right,
I'm
right.
like, oh,
Yes.
what
And
a
then-
love. She seems fun.
Yeah.
I just, ew.
And then she'll be done with it.
I'm done with this.
Yes.
Bubba45 on YouTube has the YouTube comment of the day. He says, talk about a hostage video. That baby is held hostage.
I know, that poor kid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That poor kid.
That was my thought.
Jeez.
Well,
He
the
had no
other-
idea what he's being born into, or she.
The other part of this, when you talk about the babies, absolutely. How many of these people are taking hormones, right,
Yep.
to transition to this or to that? That goes into the baby. We're going to have an entire generation, long after I'm dead, that is going to be coming up, that is going to be messed up because of the hormones that their mother, father, was taking while they were pregnant. I just, it's going to be a disaster.
Imagine the conundrum that kid will be in when that kid is born and the kid says mommy and she looks at him and goes, no, daddy. Like, what? No,
I
no,
said daddy.
Who's your daddy?
But see, they don't know the difference. The kids don't know the difference. And this is why these kids are going to be messed up.
Yeah. Bix on YouTube writes, she will be in charge of our nuclear programs.
Yeah, she's going to give you, she'll get appointed.
Yeah,
There's no
exactly.
doubt.
Exactly.
Well, at least she won't be stealing the luggage for a fancy outfit. So
No.
It's true.
Sam Britton's got that market cornered.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up this
All right,
morning.
we're done. All right, so we've got Lou Pate. He's coming up at
He
10
is.
o'clock this morning in for Dawn Stensland. And we wrap it up today on a Thursday with Who on Twitter today?
Who won Twitter?
Who on Twitter, sponsored by Malvern Retreat House. I'm going to give it to retired SA FBI. He says on the picture of Biden, who is he's asleep on the chair, he says, I'm waiting for a seagull to do the right thing.
Oh,
That's not
a whole flock. A flock of seagulls on Joe.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So retired SA FBI wins Twitter today. Visit Malvern Retreat House, the nation's largest Catholic retreat house located in Chester County. Malvern Retreat House hosts men and women retreats, couples retreats, spiritual direction, recovery retreats, and more. Retreat from the noise and hear God's voice at malvernretreat.com.
All right, that'll do it for us today. The Donald Trump arraignment expected in a matter of moments. Vivek Ramaswamy's already out there to boycott and petition.
I was just going to say that. He's already set up.
Ramaswamy.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. He'll high-five Trump, and we'll talk about it tomorrow morning. Stay tuned. Lou Pate is up next. We're back tomorrow morning at 6. And as the 46th President of the United States would say...